Srdečne vás pozdravujem. Volám sa Andrej Babiš, narodil som sa v Bratislave na Zochovej ulici a aj keď už 30 rokov žijem v Českej republike, na Slovensku mi veľmi záleží. A vy v sobotu rozhodnete v parlamentných voľbách, kto bude v budúcej slovenskej vláde. Či to budú politici, ktorí budú bojovať za záujmy slovenských občanov, alebo budú počúvať Brusel. Ako bývalý predseda vlády Českej republiky som mal skvelú spoluprácu s premiérom Petrom Pellegrinim. Spoločne sme bojovali za záujmy slovenských a českých občanov v Bruseli a samozrejme aj V4 fungovala. Rovnaké to bolo s premiérom Robertom Ficom, keď som bol minister financií v Sobotkovej vláde. A potom prišiel Igor Matovič a všetko to zrušil a vlastne dal nám na vedomie, že Česká republika je jedna z mnohých krajín, že už nie sme tá preferovaná krajina. Ale to najhoršie, čo sa vám môže stať, že budete mať vo vláde progresívne Slovensko. To sú takí českí piráti. Tí chceli, aby Česká republika prišla o právo veta, aby Brusel o nás rozhodoval. To sú oni, promigrantskí, zelení šialenci. A čo sa u nás deje? To sa stane i u vás. Navyšujú dane, znižujú dôchodky, presvedčujú nás o tom, koľko máme pohlaví, chcú legalizovať drogy. A tomuto vy predsa musíte zabrániť. To si Slovensko nezaslúži. Tak ja vás pekne prosím, rozhodnete v sobotu o vláde, ktorá bude zvrchovaná, bude bojovať za zájmy slovenských občanov. Ja vám prajem
This door is made of metal and
Yes? Are you looking for me, gendarme?
no one answers.
We should talk to him.
No one answers.
We should talk to him.
Gendarmerie. You found me.
His slender figure is backlit by city lights, its distant streets and motorways flashing like diamonds. It feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood tonight.
Beautiful. So tell me, are you here to make things right again? Beautiful. I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting. Mm-hmm. That's why I chose this place. Martinez is special, isn't it?
Wait. Suddenly you are digging things?
Yeah, it does feel like the end of the week. Such gentle weather. Trust me, you do. That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark and the neighboring windows have lit up one by one. Downstairs, a cat crosses the yard, disappearing into the bush.
Besides, I've got to run.
He's going to leave you alone again. That's sad.
To the city. It's a beautiful night.
A man on high heels stumbles out of a basement club, music blasting over the entire district. It's chilly, and as the chemicals hit his nervous system, 1,000 shivers ripple through his body. Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth as you're saying those words.
We'll talk. Just not tonight. Take care, all right?
And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him.
Who knows, detective? It's a mystery. Different, of course. He smells good. He smells good, and that's weird. Come on, detective, let's go. We've got a potential witness to interview. His Sunday friend, remember?
Officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia. My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stabilité on assignment from Sur-la-Clé. I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
No, first ask an innocuous personal question to get the interview off on the right foot.
Oh yes, my friend has a great eye for these things. He refuses to tell me where it came from. It's a mystery. I believe they call this type of frame industrial. It's very comfy. That's really all I can tell you about it.
The lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed.
I'm sorry to say I did, officer.
Easy, detective. No need to jump to conclusions.
Because I did it? Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play.
He holds out his hands and blossoms his fingers, like a drama teacher setting the scene.
What do you mean, like in a play?
It was just so strange. I could barely comprehend what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead, one by one. That's when I understood. I should not be seeing this.
Holy shit, I have 5 fucking XP points.
Sounds like the victim was unconscious, or at least incapacitated. Well done, detective.
I couldn't see that. Let's just say that the laboring classes can get rather expressive with their profanities. I couldn't tell you exactly. Less than 10. Maybe 8?
The lieutenant sends you a sharp look at the mention of that number.
That's a giant you're describing. No, they were all quite human, as far as I could tell. Drummers? Why, no. But then, I don't know what a drummer is supposed to look like.
I think we can drop the drummer angle. That was my bad.
I went back inside.
Were you able to see anything from inside?
Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see, but I could still hear their voices. They were threatening to kill that poor man. All men, I presume. But again, I couldn't see very clearly. I believe they were mostly white, though I believe I saw 2 Areopagites among them. And I am quite certain that one spoke with a Mesk accent. Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching. Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no anything. You're right, of course. That is what one is supposed to do in such circumstances. I was simply in shock. I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add.
About what time was all this happening, approximately?
All I can say is that it was late. No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day.
It seems this wasn't the break you were hoping for. I think we have everything we need. Thank you for talking to us, Mr. Villedroit.
Of course, anything I can do to assist the RCL. The Coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight. Well, I'm renovating it. It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the Coalition forces landed here. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here. Yes, as I said before, I am a commissioner from Sur-la-Clé working for the Institute of Price Stability. This is one of the main projects of the Moral Inter.
Wait, there isn't actually an Institute of Price Stability, is there? Or maybe there is. God, it's impossible to understand whether someone from the Moral Intern is joking or not.
Jsem vůbec live, může mi to někdo potvrdit, ty vole? Vy pepíčci a zmrdlajchové. Debilci. Bože, Discord mě sere. Jsem na něm moc závislý, jsem si všim. No, je to byl zvěrolékař. Jesus, měsíc pochůzek jak nasráno. Bobiš je bůh, není. Bobiš je velice zlý člověk. Koukám na malý 12letý holky, stojím mu u toho jeho 5 centimetrový pindíček.
La communauté internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the coalition. In other words, the nations...
Dneska mám papá pásko guláš z medlifeu.
Your employer, technically speaking. The governing authority of Revachol. The RCM is but one part of this provisional administration. It is the most important thing.
Tak jako
It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment.
že on dneska papá pásko guláš, tak seš debil, ty vole.
Which is essential for
Když tak
maintaining
krásnou věc ti asi rád zopakuju. Mimochodem to Ústí z Medlife, ten hokej, je tak příšerně v píči s veřejností, že to, že Růžička odešel, ani neokomentovali. Jenom řekli, že máme novýho trenéra. A do toho trenéru vůbec o Růžičkovi nic nenapsali. Nenapsali, že odchází, nenapsali, proč odchází, nic. A komenty jsou zablokovaný na všech příspěvcích už asi rok. Ty. To je PR jak poleno, ty vole. To je příšerný, ty vole. Ale tady jde komentář. Jo, dobře, to je aktualizace úvodní fotky. Nechcete si najmout někoho na PR, protože mi tenhle klub začíná připomínat nějakou instituci v Saudské Arábii. Myslíš, že to pochopí z Mrdlife? snad pochopí. No to seru. No to seru. Klub upadne v zapomnění asi jo, no. Je to tak. Co mi tady Skype zase říká, nějaké updaty, viď? Váš AI koupil od Bing. Ahoj, tady Bing, jsem tu, abych vám pomohl. Zeptejte se mě na jakýkoliv ty otázky, třeba na recepty s tím, co máte v ledničce nebo veganské restaurace v Brně. Případně napíše příběh pro zvídavé děti, ve skupinkách mě nezapomeňte zmínit pomocí Bing. Jsem uměl intenci na věci piju, takže se stále učím. Si nezadejte new topic. Protože jsem Madlife tak strašně agresivní, kdykoliv si večer přihne víc, než je obvyklé. Bing mi to vysvětlí. Co já nemohu pokračovat to, nejsem schopen povědět na takové otázky, děkuji za pochopení. No tak to jste mi pomohli, ty vole. Kolik je na světě berušek? To je zajímavá otázka, protože nejsem nezjistit přesný počet berušek na světě, protože existuje mnoho druhů a jejich populace se mění závislosti na ročním období, podnebí a jiných faktorech. Nicméně podle některých hodnot asi 5000 druhů berušek. Já jsem neptal, kolik je druhů, ale kolik je berušek. Nezajímá mě asijská beruška. Můžete je vymést smetáčkem ven nebo použít sprej proti hmyzu. Fakt se vám pomoct, můžete zapomenout, můžete si prohlédnout některé z následujících odkazů. České domácnosti zaplavily berušky, odborník radí, jak se jich spojit. Proč tam je žebříček nejbohatších lidí, co to má s beruškama společnýho do píči? Ze světa peněz. Trč si novu třeba do prdele. To by mě zhořela nevhodné, omlouvám se, ale já už s vámi nebudu dále komunikovat. OK, tak si naserč, no. Jo, je vtipná. Díky za váš čas a zájem o Bing, přeji vám hezký den. Smutný Bing. Bing byl hodně smutný. Jako těším se, až AI bude znít jako člověk. Určitě se do toho pořádně nějak pustím. Uděláme si to nějaký pořádný content na streamu. A teď je to ještě takový strašně robustní a podivný mi přijde.
Basically, it makes sure the price of bread doesn't change.
Précisément. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That's why the Institute of Price Stability works to keep inflation just below 2%. But not too far below, no. Too below is also bad.
Co říkáš na inflaci 2% z Madlife?
The coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stability. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet? A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. Stability is the raison of the morality.
Jo, z Midlife ten test
It's
jsem
the reason
udělal,
why I
mimochodem.
identify as a moralist.
Teď přemýšlím, co s tím dál.
But oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today. That's too bad. You can always call our information line. Making information available is part of the Moral Intern's commitment to transparency. It's the International Organization for Moralists. Hence,
Ale je to
Moralists
prostě,
International.
ale je to složitější,
The
protože za
Institute of
A
High Stability is just one of its many mind babies, as is the coalition.
Protože za A jsem měl šílený štěstí v tom testu, jako ty otázky mi fakt sedly, ty. Já nebudu lhát. Nemyslím si, že jsem to test měl udělat. A za druhý je to takový, jak to popsat, no. Jako Šmakucio dřív dělal teď nevím, jestli to byla sklárna, nebo prostě nějaká taková fabrika a dělal tam takovýho obecného pepíčka, víš co, takový ten zaměstnanec, který mohl zaskočit za každýho jiného zaměstnance, když byl potřeba, tak. Takže takový jakoby pracující manažer, dá se říct, že jo. Obecnej prostě. Že prostě byl schopný udělat všechno, no. Tak tato práce je taková podobná, ono je to prostě... Ty se vlastně specializuješ na celou administraci Azuru a ten je třeba složený z 20 různých složek, který prostě ty bys měl umět všechny, no. Jako i když jsem ten test udělal, tak prostě několik složek, ve kterých se já třeba vůbec ještě neorientuju a jako no ani z teorie se to úplně nenaučíš. Musíš prostě jakoby fakt praxi dělat, takže můj problém teď je, že kdybych jakoby šel s tím do práce teď hned, jako já bych to zvládl, že jo. Díky Google a podobným píčovinám, co existují, jenže bych byl strašně pomalej. Protože musím ještě prakticky všechno naučit, musím se to zakódovat, jak co dělat správně, že jo. Budu prostě strašně neefektivní. Takže to je velký problém. Takže já přemýšlím, co teď, jakoby mám asi 3 možnosti, no. A všechny 3 jsou taky lákavý. Jako za první mohl bych se podívat na jiný certifikát, který se k tomu váže, ale není nutný. Jestli to najdu tady, tak ti to ukážu. Jsem blbej. To jsou všechny certifikáty, že jo. Oni mají ještě 365, což je Outlook a podobný píčoviny. Ne, protože jsem dostal ale kupon. Ten certifikát stojí 3 táci. Za ten první jsem platil asi 2 táci. Takže vlastně certifikáty, které by se vlastně týkaly mě a přímě do 365 nějak moc zabředávat nechci. Takový hrozně cringe mi přijde. Takže to tyhle ty Azure certifikáty a tady ty Security Compliance a Identity. Tohle je vlastně práce s firewallem, sledování každého network hopu, že jo, prostě DDoS útoky, podobný píčoviny, zabezpečování pomocí hesel, dvoufázový ověřování, podobný píčoviny. Jako tohle je určitě užitečný, 100%. A neměl by to být podle mě tak složitý, protože je to hodně specifická část, no. A pak máš tyhle certifikáty, takže máš Azure Fundamentals, Azure AI Fundamentals, Azure Data Fundamentals. Jak AI, tak data pravděpodobně užitečný jsou, ať už děláš cokoliv v Azure. Protože ať technologie pokračí kamkoliv, tak AI a data už od teď budou vždycky důležitý. Takže to jsou určitě 2 certifikáty. Azure Fundamentals mám. No a pak máme Azure Administrators Associate, to je ten, co jsem teď udělal. Azure Developer Associate, to má CAMB, tady ten certifikát. To je vlastně jakoby ta druhá stránka Azure. Že vlastně buď seš administrátor, co dělá s tím Azurem, dělá prostředí, ve kterém lidi pracují a tak. A Azure Developer je to, co s tím prostředím ty lidi můžou dělat. Takže to jsou kódeři, víceméně, zkráceně řečeno. Takže to není pro mě, já nechci kódovat nic. Azure Solution Architect Expert, to je vlastně 3. hvězdička tohohle, já jsem teď 2hvězdičkový. Tohle je prostě... Tohle je vlastně jakoby rozdíl mezi mnou a Destruxiem teďka. To je prostě jako, že opravdu, už seš v tom zkušený, opravdu seš každou tou sekcí umíš dělat správně a už prostě to máš všechno zakódovaný a tak, takže to je takovýhle poslední step, který jako přijde sám od sebe, na to se nedá naučit, to už opravdu v tom musíš dělat. DevOps Engineer Expert, to je vlastně opak, to je zase to s kódama, to je to, co Kambi a Kambi tohle myslím a má. Jsem si celkem jistý, že Kambi tohle má. Takže tohle jsou jakoby těch 5 základních, no. Uděláš v Azure Fundamentals a pak budeš administrátor nebo kóder. Kambi šel kóder, takže Kambi má tyhle 3. Já mám tyhle 2. No a pak jsou tam tady ty, jo. Takže tady máš Azure Engineer Associate, to upřímně nejsem, jo, Security Engineer Associate, upřímně nejsem si jistý, co to je, ale asi to je něco podobného k tomu Data Protection. Network Engineer Associate, to ty vole. Jako oba tyhle takhle, já vím, co to je. Tohle je prakticky tady ten certifikát, kde musíš umět každých 20 sekcí perfektně, tak tohle je jakoby jenom jedna z těch sekcí, kterou umíš perfektně. Security je jedna sekce tohodle, network je jedna sekce tohodle a teda. Windows Server Hybrid Administrator Associate, to asi nechci úplně. To, pokud se nemýlím, tak to prakticky znamená, že to je jak pracovat se serverem v Azuru, což jakoby umíš víceméně, nicméně jak s ním pracovat tak, když je napojený na tvůj server v tvý společnosti. Takže aby si jako manažoval oba, ale aby oba byly synchronní, že jo, a tak. Azure AI Engineer Associate je opět k tomuhle. Azure Data Scientist Associate je s datama. Azure Data Engineers Associate, přímě nevím, jaký je tomhle rozdíl. Jo, tohle bude asi analýza dat a tohle bude práce s datama obecně. Azure databáze, SQL servery a tak. Vytíří pokoj. Azure Enterprise Data, to upřímně nevím, co úplně je. Enterprise prakticky znamená konglomerát, jako mega společnost. A nevím, jaký je rozdíl mezi tímhle a tím. Hádám, že tohle je prostě jakoby složitější krok od toho. No a pak máš tady specialty, což upřímně podle mě není úplně nutný. Takže to jsou moje možnosti jsou buď se soustředit na nějaký další certifikát, v tom případě by to byl jeden z těch jednotlivých specializací, nebo něco z tohohle, a nebo no asi bych měl začít Azure Data Fundamentals, Azure AI Fundamentals. To je moje první možnost. Moje druhá možnost je... Co je moje druhá možnost mrdlejvku? Jo, moje druhá možnost je, že prostě i když jsem ten certifikát udělal, tak prostě dál budu studovat ten certifikát, i když už ho mám, protože stejně je tam ještě spousta věcí, které bych potřeboval vypilovat. Samozřejmě bych použil i nějaký, jakoby, na internetu bych si našel nějaký simulace, kde jakoby opravdu budeš dělat věci, které bys normálně v reálném životě dělal. Učit vypilovat si to tímhle způsobem, a nebo třetí, pravděpodobně nejlepší pro mě by byl udělat si OSVČ a pracovat na zakázku. Prostě udělej mi v Azuru tohle do téhle doby za tolik. A já to udělám, i když budu pomalej, tak jelikož nebudu nějak omezený pracovní dobou, nebudu omezený časově nějak, tak i když budu potřebovat Google k tuně věcím, tak se k tomu eventuálně dokopám a tím se zároveň budu učit. No. A to jsou moje 3 možnosti teďka z midlife. Taky si myslím, no. Samozřejmě ještě ten problém, že já potřebuji vědět, jak získat ty zákazníky, že jo. Takže si musím nastudovat, jak komunikovat s lidma, jak přesně ty smlouvy budou fungovat, protože pravděpodobně hádám, že víc jak polovina mých zákazníků nebudou z Česka, takže se musím naučit, jak to funguje se zahraničníma zákazníkama, že? Tam pravděpodobně bude nějaký jiný proces, než nějaká jednoduchá smlouva. A podobné věci, no. Plus jak to funguje s těma pojištěníma a tak. To se taky musím nastudovat. A jako tenhle měsíc to asi ještě pouštět nebudu, jako myslím, říjen. Že to asi ještě pouštět nebudu, protože teď to mám ještě strašně hodně, ty vole. Obzvlášť teď, když jsem na těch nových práškách. Musím k psychiatričce, ty vole, musím na veterinu skoko ještě. Je to hodně teď, no. Takže pravděpodobně budu jenom tak brouzdat po večerech. Jenom si vypilovávat to, co vím. Udržovat se v chodu. Teď víš, že mám nový prášky, už jsem se na ně ptal 3krát. Je tam ostříhanej, dík, že jsi si všiml, vole. Vypadám jak čurák. Já jsem to dělal pod mě, to stříhání. Tě jsem vzal nůžky a pod mě jsem se ostříhal. Já si všiml, že tady mám nějaký sensor, který mi tady visí. Piči, jsem se vykoupat, aby ty vlasy se nějak daly dohromady, no. Protože tady to tady visí jak čurák, ty vole. Není vůbec poznat. Tak poznáš to, mám takový vyšší čelo, že jo? Tady ty kouty jdou trošku víc vidět, když jsem ostříhanej, že jo? Ono ze zadu bys to poznal, protože já si to dělám sám, takže chceš to ukázat, ale budeš se mi smát. A to se nedělá. Ty kouty jsou hodně ve stylu. Jako jo, když nejdou vidět celý, tak jsou, no, ale když je ukážeš celý, tak už je to horší, jo. Proto tam mám ty vlásky, aby to neukazovaly celé, jenom takové kousíčky, víš. Jako ze zadu budu vypadat, ty vole, jak schody do orloje, podle mě. No co, tam to vždycky vypadá příšerně, když to dělám sám. Já to teda nikdy neviděl, no. Ale všichni mi vždycky říkají, že to vypadá strašně po tom, co se ostříhal. Ono to většinou přeroste tak za 3-5 dní. Takže mě to netrápí. Vypadá celkem v chillu. Třeba se mi to povedlo líp dnes včera. No co, tak to teď vsuvka, no. Teď už jdu zpátky ke gaming. Doufám, že jsi užil můj životní update.
Doing one's job doesn't automatically make one anyone's bitch. Besides, there are more nefarious powers to work for than the moral intern.
But of course. Because moralists believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values.
Me? I'm a lieutenant of the RCM, dedicated to maintaining law and order in Ravachol.
A very moralist answer.
The lieutenant is practiced in the art of putting on a show for one's superiors.
The Occident is part of the normal world. Oranier, sur la clé. Martinez? No. Martinez is something else. Ravachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government, which means it hasn't yet achieved full democracy. But they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking.
Of course, the detective's personal views do not represent the views of the RCM.
Ah, my friend. But the lesson of the revolution is that communism does not work. Ah, yes, the unattainable ideal. Never settle for less. Good luck with that, my friend. Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything else you wanted to ask? What's there to say? Sur-la-Clé is a modern, urbanized country that measures very high on the Human Development and Freedom Index. Mostly, though, it's known as the executive heart of EPIS. Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Revachol is only one of its many darlings whose progress it supports and cherishes.
Darlings? That can't be an official designation.
Because a great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Sur-la-Clé. Its language, its people, its cuisine even. Or at least in the downtown La Delta area.
Jamrock and other parts of the international zone have been mercifully spared of Sur-la-Clé's love for meatballs and mashed potatoes.
Oranje is an exemplary nation who, as a core member of EPIS, contributes 28% of our annual budget. Next to Sur-la-Clé, Oranje is probably the most prominent member of the international community. As founding members, they are both very EPIS. Oranje carries a lot of political weight, while Sur-la-Clé takes care of the business side of things. Sur-la-Clé hosts the headquarters of the major EPIS institutions. Oranje's economy is one of the most advanced in the world. It has successfully transitioned from heavy industry to advanced services and generally acts as an engine for sustainable change in the international community.
But that didn't tell you anything about Oranje.
About what? Oh, it's very urban and very well organized. Their streets are clean, their horse cars run on time, the people are polite and efficient. Like I said, they are an example for less emerged nations to follow. Whatever you wish, officer. Ah, my friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him. But he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters. Kedra is a candidate member of APIS. But, between you and me, their potential membership is a more contentious issue. That it's never going to happen. They entered negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since. EPIS is a very special program developed by the Moral Intern to support certain Occidental nations. It began as a unified system of weights and measures, which proved to be a wild success. Nothing but kilograms and centimeters as far as the eye can see.
God, yes. Sweet standardization. The backbone of rationality and commerce.
It was such a wild success that we expanded it into an economic union for the processing of steel. Another success. And between you and me, the Moral Intern feels emboldened by this success. Emboldened to take EPIS to the next level. Why, it stands for progress and stability, like the Moral Intern as a whole. It's been such a wild, extraordinary success thus far. We are very excited to take it to the next level. A supranational political alliance. The United States of Occident. You mean Revachol? No, it's going to have transparent democracy. It's one day going to be a candidate member of EPIS, sure.
Protože Je to naming convention. Čekaj, to ukážu rychle. Důvod je tohle. Protože když začínáš měsícem a pak máš den, tak můžeš automaticky seřazovat podle abecedy. Protože když začínáš dnem, tak by se to seřadilo všechny 28. pak všechny 27. pak všechny 26. Když začínáš měsícem, tak se ti to řadí přesně podle času. Hustý, co? Takže ve skutečnosti mají v tom lámíci pravdu. Je to lepší.
Except that candidate members never become full members, do they?
No. Candidate members do become members. Why do we even have the whole system in place if they don't? It just takes time. Time and evaluation. But we were talking about my friend here, not politics. How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindian Peninsula? Oil platforms ablaze in the night? Civil wars lasting for years? Finally, the international community is forced to step in. Au contraire, it's how millions of people end up where they are, meeting the people they meet. It's how I came here, and my friend too. Sorry, who? But I told you, officer. He's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It is a cornerstone of our civilization. Officer, you have to understand. I can't give you his personal information. I'm sure you have your own methods and databases, right? Please don't put me in this situation. He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes.
As though you weren't envious enough of the boy as is.
He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows? The world is open wide for a talented youth like him. I'm just enjoying the view.
A dead body we still need to get down, by the way.
Listen.
The baby is crying in the neighboring apartment.
No, listen. The Insulindian Bay. This place used to be a luxury accommodation before the revolution. Apartments, of course, were much bigger then. A few walls have been added here and there, leaving some of the tenants without a private bathroom or a kitchen. But the million real view stays. You can't take that away. My friend comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around. He's a busy bee.
A busy bee? What an odd choice of words.
I'm all ears, officer. A moment. Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave. It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen. And I'm pressed for time. After you leave, I should be leaving as well.
That's not the real reason he's so apprehensive. Men in his position shouldn't be seen loitering around in underprivileged young men's apartments in the middle of the night.
Sure, go ahead. It's a beautiful space. Was there anything else? Of course.
Alright, I think we got it all. It's time for bed gay. Let's check out René. If we still can. We can't, okay, just go to bed. And go eat some food too. What was this again? We couldn't do this. It's locked. Anyway, I can pick it up. No. This. What is this? Trying to snuff me out, mate.
Just an order.
Maybe something new I can do with this.
This coin-operated viewer is
Probably some kids.
the metal, a thick that's coon under the roof. You know the church looks around the lot.
New.
This coin-operated viewer is facing. Your money disappears into the curtain. The lenses. It looks. Its leaves ripped from it by the outer wing. The little brick.
Really? I don't.
Nothing new. It's gone already. Can we sit on the bench?
The worn and beaten.
You can revisit the bench.
Alright. Time for our new bed.
The old woman still sits. The buzz of electric light. There's a gap where the name of that song should be.
Yes, I don't really sleep anymore. Only a few hours a night. It happens when you grow older. My suggestion is don't. Don't grow any older than you already are. That's old enough. What's troubling your mind?
Uncle.
There's no.
Tequila sunset.
The legend returns. You know, just make sure to enjoy that one, friend.
Tequila. Let me take a sip to moisten up my pores. Tequila sunset rolled into the Martinez last Friday. And by tequila sunset, I mean you, the man, the myth. Hey, let's not jump ahead of ourselves. This is your story. Stop interrupting. You got here on Friday to celebrate. Hopefully to meet the early bird who gets it first. And by the turn, because as far as I know, all you did was get pissed drunk. Word on the street is you went around the local hostel telling people that you're a police officer. And that it would be really fucked up if you shot yourself in the head, right in front of them. That's a pretty high concept, if you ask me.
It is. The lieutenant's brow is furrowed. He's listening as casually as he can.
It was a late Saturday night when we, the Union of Moribund Alcoholics, were getting our drink on. Nothing remarkable about this. We get our drink on 24/7. Makes everything warm and glowy. I trust you know the feeling. One moment we hear the sound of a motor carriage revving up somewhere on the plaza, followed by a series of dings and bangs.
Do you remember the sound of wood cracking? The billboard.
Naturally, loud noises pique the interest of anybody owning a pair of ears. That's just the reality we're in. Anyway, there was a brief silence. A gasp of silence, if you will. Followed by a real commotion. We heard the carriage careening towards the coast at top speed. Sounded like someone jumped the canal. We grabbed our brewskis and rushed to the jetty. Never underestimate the speed of an alcoholic. What we saw was a sight to behold. A beat-up police carriage containing you. Right there on the beach. You revved the engine and screamed at the top of your lungs, "The time has come!" So, naturally, being the curious cat I am, I asked what time has come. To which you replied, "The time hath come for tequila sunset, the end of all things." After which, your reality contracted. You jammed the pedal, plowed right off the jetty, and through the ice. We ran towards the ice whilst you crawled your way out, miraculously unhurt, covered in seaweed and shit, like some kind of sea monster. When we finally got there, you were sitting on the beach crying. You said that your badge and uniform were in the car. It was too late to get in there, though. The carriage had sunk too deep. Recognizing a brother in need, we offered our condolences and invited you to partner with us, which you naturally agreed to. We asked about the whole tequila sunset thing, and you told us it was your name now, and insisted that we all call you that from then on. No, that's just what your mother called you. Your real name is Tequila Sunset. Just embrace it, brother. Ours. It was an all-night drink-a-thon. Then, at some point, I think it was Sunday morning, you got belligerent and wanted to talk about revolution. How they're beautiful and also whores and so on. How one of them fucked you real bad. After a short while, you crossed the event horizon, looked sullen, got up and left without saying anything.
Wow. That's quite a story.
Yeah. I bet Tequila's a fucking legend around the precinct. You must be proud to work with him.
If you only knew.
You were pretty vague about it, but you kept saying you got fucked real hard, and that we've all been fucked too.
Please, don't open that door.
No one's fucked me. I do the fucking around here.
It seemed pretty painful, to be honest with you. If I had to guess, I'd say you're still working through some shit. Beside your gun and your badge, you said something about your hope or heart or something. To be honest, the details are a little hazy. In retrospect, I guess you lost your motor carriage too. That's a big one. You told us that they were a bunch of fucking losers whose main interest was cramping your style.
It's more like you were cramping theirs.
No specifics though. It was more about you that night. You were the star of the show. Yeah, you said it was no biggie and that you'd solve it in no time. And that you didn't need anyone to do it. You're doing it solo now.
A lot of cops go solo and hermit once they reach that level of alcoholism.
It's not meant as a joke. He's sorry for the hurt cop.
Yeah, you kept talking about how the coal mine owners were fucking us all over, just like that woman fucked you. I didn't agree with you, by the way. The spectral hand of the market makes sure everyone gets exactly what they deserve.
I still don't understand how people can like the market.
You kept apologizing for being such a bad cop, and for the damage you've inflicted on everyone around you. You also kept pausing to knock the heel of your hand against your temples, saying, "Stupid, stupid, stupid."
Problém s trhem je, že trh podle mě dobře...
Yes, against fucking Radovid Africa, who 20 fucking points with Shani, are you fucking retarded? What you don't fucking tell me how to fucking play, when you're not even a fucking pro at the play?
Honsla donor pasakfok.
Tak si nase. Mohl si poslat aspoň 2000, když si měsíc v kuse pracoval. Si určitě vole nárabal tak půl mega a mě pošleš 2 kila. Zasranej vole. Nevděčníku. Děkuju moc za donate.
It's a hard thing for a man to confront his past. That's why I avoid mine at all costs. Whoop-de-doo. So now I'm a fucking storyteller. Right, why not? Better than a beach bum. It depends, really. Are you willing to help me out?
Dělal jsem druhý certifikát, ale spíš to bylo lucky než skill.
You might get scammed here.
No, the reality of the situation requires a rather modest contribution. A little motivational package.
Brzo ti to dám na LinkedIn, takže to nezapomeň na lajkovat.
Booze! Did you already forget our party? The thing I relayed to you earlier.
Jsi můj jediný LinkedIn kamarád.
So, have you got anything for good old idiot Doom Spiral? A bottle for a...
Jo, máme novou metu, teď používáme tyhle emoty.
Not much, but it will do.
Hey, Spiral Boy, you gonna share that?
Shut up, guys. I'm telling a story here. Something happened to you. Something happened to me, too. My actual name is George. But around here, you already know. I was once a reasonably high net worth individual. A founder / junior partner at a high concept creative services agency. When my story begins, I had just landed a major contract with an insurance firm. I used the profits from my agency to finance what I call a cultural incubator. Abstract value generation, value per person, high concept stuff. I developed the paradigm, worked within the paradigm, but the burden of leadership weighed heavily on me. So I went jogging every so often to keep myself sane. 22 full-time employees, an all-star team, a potentially historical set of individuals. Worrying about them often kept me up well into the morning hours. It did. With my trusty Sansaric tracksuit, I felt like I could conquer the world. But now dreams are worn thin, much like my tracksuit. One day I left on my evening run. As you may know, it's impossible to clear your head when you're distracted by the sound of keys jangling in your pockets.
His eyes are clouded. His dilated blood vessels encircling his irises like stinging brambles. His eyes are your
Jak dlouho už jsi tady nebyl, Xoere? Už to bude ty možná 2 měsíce, ne? Možná díl.
So I removed the keyring and put the keys in the front gate of my apartment into different pockets to stop the jangling, you see? At least, that was the plan. I was halfway done with my usual lap when it started to rain. The reality situation became very wet, very quickly.
Jo, jednoduché v téhle hře Xoere si můžeš vybrat, co chceš jet. To jsou moje rozhodnutí. Komunistický 28, fašistický 1. O tom jednom fašistickém se nebudeme bavit. Ultraliberál, to se žádám ty, že jo? Ultraliberál. 102. Good cop, bad cop, Ender 4, people killed 3. Já zabil 3 lidi. Ne, tohle jsou mé celkový statistiky za mojí kariéru. Poslední čitátky. Superstar jako Soikop. Kam by byl taky, myslím, ultraliberál, když to hrá. Dneska tady není někam odjel. Kam by mě donutil hrát tu hru konečně, ty. Nemůžu si stěžovat, je to fakt fantastický. Jako tahle hra, představ si to, je to jako RPG kniha. Strašně specifický styl. Myslím, že by tebe by to bavilo, dnešní hrát.
Wet, okay? It was raining really hard. I made my way back home and discovered that I didn't have the key to the front gate. I'd mixed it up with the key to the letterbox, which was useless.
To je strašně zajímavý. Vlastně máš tohle, což je tvoje tělo, že jo? Tohle je tvůj mozek, tohle je tvoje psyche, já nevím, jak to říct česky, fyzička, motorix a podle toho, jak je máš nalevený, tak v průběhu hry s tebou jakoby konverzují. Encyklopedia ti vysvětluje věci, co svět, co a podobně. Perception ti ukazuje věci, že jo, jako je to logický. Jsem si vybral vlastně, můžeš si udělat buď vybrat postavu, nebo si udělat vlastně, já jsem si udělal postavu podle mých statů. Fyzička 0, motorix 2, psyche 4, intelekt 5. A jako opravdu to můžeš hrát neskutečným počtem stylů.
Naturally, the situation required me to climb over the gate, which I did. There was no climbing down because I slipped and landed on my ass. Ouch, indeed. Reality was looking rather grim just then. Me lying on my ass in a mud pit in the middle of a heavy shower. But when life knocked me down,
A myslím, že dneska je finále America Got Talent.
So I made my way across the yard. Standing in front of my apartment door, fumbling with my pockets, I realized that I'd also forgotten my apartment key. I wish I were Tequila. I wish I were. Instead of my apartment key, I'd taken the key to the office. I rang my neighbors' buzzers. It was late, and most of them didn't even answer. Those who did assumed I was trying to sell them something and hung up before I could even explain the situation. People are naturally wary of ad men, you see. One moment someone chats you up, 5 minutes later you've bought a box of edible lingerie and a strap-on. I don't begrudge them, especially since I was known to be one of the best.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Just then, I experienced a moment of clarity. I still had the key to my office. I could wait out the storm there. But when I reached my office, I remembered that I'd asked one of my producers to change the locks that day. And since I hired only the best, he'd already done it, and I couldn't get in. Anyway, long story short, life spiraled out of control. I haven't gotten into my apartment for years, and my girlfriend left me because she didn't want to date a homeless man. The company, well, you see where I'm going with this. So, now you've heard my tragic tale. What do you think? Like nothing you've ever heard, huh? Tequila, I've thought about this series of events for a long time. If there was anything else to it, I would have thought of it by now.
Takže backstory, jako to ti řeknu na začátku hry, probudíš se vedle chlastu v bytě a vstaneš. To je všechno, co ti hra dá. Půjdeš dolů, tam k tobě přijde policajt, tenhle, Kim, a řekne ti, že vyšetřujete vraždu. A ty máš totální okno, kompletní, o všem, o celém svém životě. Cílem hry je vyšetřit vraždu. Nicméně, vzhledem tomu, že si nic nepamatuješ, tak máš mnohem víc cílů v téhle hře. Zjistit, kdo seš, kam se podělí všechny tvoje věci, proč si se ožral do sraček, kdo spáchal vraždu, podobné věci. Je to hodně politická hra taky.
Why didn't you go to the authorities?
Yeah, it's a great question. Like, this guy's story, like, is missing something.
Well, at one point they came to me, but, you know, I didn't have any ID on me. So they tossed me in jail for 2 days. I can't say it increased my faith in the RCM. No offense, gentlemen. Yeah, maybe I've exaggerated certain parts over the years. When you tell a story too often, it begins to take on a life of its own.
A jo, a to, co se ti na tomhle bude líbit nejvíc, ta hra je šíleně chytrá, ale šíleně. Jako těch chytrých věcí, tyhle jako ten, kdo prostě sepsal tenhle scénář, musel být gény.
But what matters is that it's true to my subjective experience. Anyway, that was all the story one bottle gets you. Almost empty, this one.
Truly, he has the soul of an artist.
Good fucking question, Tequila. If I knew the answer, you think I'd be hanging out on a beach in this formerly premium but now extremely dirty two-piece lycra tracksuit? I used to own my reality situation. My business buddies and I had our own creative services agency. I had a nice apartment, an even nicer piece of ass. But somehow it all got away from me. Now I can't hang on to anything. Just last week I stole this nice new jacket, but then I lost it too.
Co se mi líbí nejvíc je, že celá ta hra je dabovaná. A ty voice actoři jsou fakt parádní. Úplně všechno je dabovaný. Takže nemusíš číst nic. Čeština na to ještě není, ale vím, že na to někdo češtinu dělá. Ale vzhledem kolik textů v téhle hře je, tak chápu, že jim to chvíli trvá.
You of all people should empathize with this. Perhaps this lost jacket is something you could help with?
My agency, man. The Boom Boom Room. Our concept was combining high art with the lowest forms of marketing. The color red, breasts, and oil painting. I convinced my partners to reinvest some of our profits in an even more high-concept cultural incubator called Thin Air. The artists were happy, the clients were happy. I was financing a group of poets in East Rebeshal who were developing a new universal poetic language. But then it all went to shit.
If it sounds like it makes no sense, that's because it doesn't.
Well, you know, sex sells. That's the first rule of advertising. Maybe you're right. Who knows? Maybe we were behind the curve? We were fucking rich, though. That much I know.
Jako upřímně mě třeba sexuální reklamy už vůbec jako se mnou něco děje. Hádám, že to jako fakt skvěle funguje na ten věk 15 až 30-ish, třeba 25. Tak jakmile plácneš nějakou sexy modelku, tak tě to hnedka ovlivní, ale mně se to už taky hnusí a přijde mi to cringe. Když já jsem takový vyvinutější člověk než třeba ty Xerku, no. Tobě to třeba bude imponovat až do 80, jak tě znám.
What? You've never seen 100% lycra before? Go on, feel that primo material.
Si obecně na ožralý lidi to bude fungovat.
Pretty nice, huh? This might be one of the last of its kind. Should probably be in a museum, honestly.
Good God, it's nearly impossible to describe how dirty this texture is. It's like rubbing two jellyfish skins together. You feel about 15% less human for having touched it. Randomized trials have also found lycra, TM, to be associated with a number of exotic so you also have that to look forward to. And then there's the smell. But you don't even want to think about that.
Wow, you're lucky. He never lets me feel it.
That's because your paws are fucking filthy, Rosie. We're right next to the bay. You could wash them any time. My fellow members of the Union of Moribund Alcoholics? They're exactly what they look like.
Hey, Tequila! You want to buy some speed?
Shut the fuck up, Rosemary. He's a cop, remember?
I thought he was a cool cop.
A gurgling sound comes from the direction of the non-responsive man.
And yeah, you're already acquainted with abs. Tequila, it's a verifiable tragedy. It was practically brand new. Sure, it didn't really go with my lycra threads, but it did itch a lot less. Say, you're a detective, right? Maybe you can help old Doom Spiral out. Solve the case of the missing jacket. What do you say, Tequila? Yeah, exactly. You're here to serve, right? If I knew where I lost it, don't you think I'd have it? I mean, maybe I was up by the boardwalk, or walking along the beach, or checking out the abandoned fish market. Somewhere north of here, that's for sure. You could ask around, see if anyone's seen it. I'm all ears, Tequila. What's in a name?
Hey, Spiral Boy, you gonna share that?
Shut up, guy. I was once a reasonably
Oh, okay.
so you don't. I do. But as you can see, my fuel tank is running quite low. If you catch my drift.
Right, so he wants alcohol.
Cottonmouth.
Why does
Yes, against fucking Radovid, Africa, who 20 fucking points with Shani. Are you fucking retarded? But you don't fucking tell me how to fucking play when you're not even a fucking pro-weather player.
Zmrdlají v BLELELE.
Díky, Xerku. Už donaty skoro nikdo neposílá. Kambi je teď bez práce, že ten neposílá nic, Zmrdlife přestal posílat, mi dokonce dluží 16 let. A nikdo jiný už nedonate. Takže je to tady takový smutný. A já pomalu krachuju na nulu. Takže si to cením hodně. Kde je Andy? Čuk. Vy se moc nechodíte do chatu, jsem tam zapne stream, ale taky moc koukal jsem na tý blbý období. No teď je na Discordu, takže má asi aspoň zaplay chat.
Excellent question. Art is a diverse range of visual, literary, auditory, and performative creativity. It's an expression of imagination and technical skill. Additionally, it's history, criticism, and pure enjoyment. In short, art is the highest form of human communication, representation, narrative, emotion, and agency intertwined. Have you looked in the mirror lately? You have the exact features of a savage art critic, with that beard and those clothes, disheveled and prophetic. Perhaps you should try to critique architecture too. Yes, you seek substance. No vapid representations and reproductions of social mores as made manifest in stuffy biennials. We're talking real, living art here. Become the art cop. Half art critic, half cop. Exactly. It's not only your duty to only catch the criminals off the street, you must also apprehend criminals of the printing press and the gallery, the trite and derivative artists and writers of the world. Go ahead and provide savage criticisms, art cop. The world is yours to rip to pieces and reassemble.
Alright, je ten člověk udělal fakt Okay.
Tequila Sunset.
The legend! He's back! And thirsty. I got smoke. Bottoms up, Captain.
Let's take one more story.
Tequila sunset. Of course. Drink first, story later. Not much, but the tale I'm about to tell you is an urban legend particular to Martinez. That said, I first heard it from a former bicycle courier in Coran. There are many variations on the basic story, and the details often conflict. What everyone agrees on is that nobody knows the exact nature or identity of the phenomenon.
Are you telling the story of the headless...
Shut the fuck up, Rosemary. Summer of 44. 17-year-old Gertrude Hett is walking home from a late shift at the harbor. It's almost midnight. She stops for a cigarette near the canal.
The streets are warmed by a southerly breeze. The lights of a passing motor carriage bloom and fade in the distance. In the harbor's dark, her cigarette is a beacon, dancing alone. The image comes to you effortlessly, as though you'd walked the same streets yourself.
Our heroine finds herself enjoying the peace and quiet the canal provides. What she doesn't know is that her peace is about to be shattered. From behind her comes the clattering of hooves. Startled, she turns around, and what does she see? Well, yes, but it's the man on the horse that's of interest here. A man...
The pause is long and dramatic.
With no head on his shoulders. Wearing a found tracksuit, searching for the legendary found cap that went missing when he lost his head. Woe is right, my friend. Gertrude Hett may have been the first to witness the headless found rider, but she wasn't the last. Oh no.
Tell him about the two feminists by the locks.
Fuck, Rosemary, they were dating. No one said they were feminists. Everyone always misremembering this stuff.
This wouldn't be the De Ponte Delgado case, would it?
What? You know it?
I've read the case file. But please, go on.
Right. Early autumn of 46. Ula de Ponte and Eva Delgado are fishing near the waterlock long after the sun has set. The wind picks up. A sky already dark now blackens. Water starts falling from above. The first cold rain of the season.
Two women stand on a small outcropping of rocks. One of them is wearing a purple raincoat. Thin lines reach out from the rods into the sea. Small droplets start appearing on the surface with increasing frequency.
The women are caught in the downpour. They act quickly. Eva gathers the rods whilst Ula turns around to reach for the tackle box.
Don't turn around. Don't turn around.
When she sees something, her shriek is so violent that the residents of the nearby apartment building believe lightning has struck. But there is no lightning. Only a heavy downpour and the silhouette of the headless found rider. Ula makes a run for the shore, but Eva slips on a wet rock and disappears into the cold, cold canal with nary a sound. Her body is never recovered.
Naturally, Ula de Ponte became the prime suspect in the disappearance of Eva Delgado. De Ponte maintained that it was the so-called headless found rider and that she ran, fearing for her life. During the investigation, it became apparent that there was a love triangle, the third party being some small-time businessman. I don't remember the exact details. The leading theory was that an argument broke out on the jetty and De Ponte pushed Delgado into the canal, then cooked up this stupid cover story. No, she committed suicide before she could be taken into custody. They found her in the bathroom with a rifle, her face slowly peeling off the ceiling. Not a pretty scene.
Man, that's some grisly detail. Oh well. Here's to another case closed. Anyway, that's the story of the headless found rider. Pretty crazy, huh? Well, Tequila, that's part of the legend. No one knows for sure. There are a couple of possibilities, though.
คะพี่
เท่าไหร่ครับ
500ค่ะ
ทำอะไรได้บ้างครับ
ทำได้ทุกอย่างค่ะ
รวมโรงแรมยังครับ
รวมแล้วค่ะแต่พี่วันนี้
ขึ้นรถเลยมา
Some say he was an undercover cop who blew his cover and got beheaded by the vicious gang he had infiltrated. Now he rides, searching for his lost-found cap, plotting revenge.
O headless brother, where art thou?
Others claim he was a professional jockey who veered off course during a steeplechase, ended up in somebody's backyard, and got decapitated by an exceptionally taut clothesline. Personally, I think he was just some guy who hanged himself from a really tall tree, and the fall was so violent that his head came clean off. Coincidentally, at that exact moment, a horse happened to pass under him, and his beheaded corpse mounted it, where it remains to this day. But then, no one really knows.
For some reason, this does strike you as the most plausible theory of them all.
Isn't it? All the pieces fit together perfectly. That's how I know it's right. Anyway, to each his own. You want to...
Hard to argue with that, I suppose.
That's the reality situation for you. You think you got a handle on it, then blam! It throws some wild shit at you. Yeah? Why don't you go eat shit, Tequila? There's no way you know a better one than that. I have to admit, that's pretty high concept. Still not as awesome as a headless rider in a found tracksuit, though. No one knows. Some say he stalks Martinez to this day, and can be seen near the canal when the clock strikes midnight. Ooh.
He won't, though, because it's just a stupid legend.
I saw him one night when I was right shit-faced.
He breathes in deeply, preparing his recitation.
The tale I'm about to tell you is an urban legend particular to Martinez. That said, I first heard it from a former bicycle courier in Coran. There are many variations on the basic story, and the details often conflict. What everyone agrees on is that nobody knows the exact nature or identity of the phenomenon.
Are you telling the story of the headless...
Shut the fuck up,
The streets in the...
What she doesn't know is that her... What?
How did I get into this again?
The
Fuck.
pause.
With no head on his shoulder. Yes. Gertrude had...
Fuck, I misclicked.
What?
I read
Right. The wind...
Two women.
The women...
Don't.
When she's there, her body is never... Word on gave...
that part.
See, anyway, that...
He won't.
I saw him one night.
I actually do have one. The strangest of them all. But do you have anything to fortify old Doom Spiral? Tell me you got some story juice. If you find any, I'd be extremely grateful. Tequila Sunset.
Wait, why can't I get the story again? Maybe if I do this.
Right. The women, but their her body is never. And well,
Oh my god.
Some others claim.
Fuck, get me out.
This does strike you as the most plausible.
That anyway, to each his own. No,
He won't.
I saw him one night when I was...
Maybe tomorrow. Alright, whatever.
The legend! He's back! And firstly...
Alright, time for bed gay. Bed gay. Hindi marada bed gay. I want to check. Oh, she's still here. Let's see if there's something new.
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon. I can feel it. The wind is turning southeast. What's on your mind, officer? Remarkable. That one already lost everything else, and now his jacket too. It's a good thing, too, that he has an actual police officer looking for it. Good old doom spiral. Upper management to the core.
That's odd. Is she actually impressed?
How sweet of you. It really is. I check around the abandoned fish market on the boardwalk. Drunks are inexplicably drawn to markets. Might be why they have such trouble staying in business.
A phenomenon that the spectral hand theory of the market fails to account for.
If one of them lost something, that's as good a place to start looking as any. Oh. That's good to know, I guess. Why is it in the sea? This calls for a funeral, if you ask me. Aye. Feels deserved, don't you think? Falling in the line of duty like that and all? Why odd? Our things are a part of our life world. They're made with our human sweat and they share human history. We should care about them as we care about humans. To some extent, at least.
Life world? Someone's been reading up on last century Gotwaldian philosophers. Play it cool now.
Oh yeah? You won't even be able to get it out of the water before early June. And where are you going to bury it? Who to invite? What music to play at the wake? Take it from someone who's been through a few funerals. It's easiest to just leave them there and let nature take care of it.
That's all we have time for right now anyway. Come back here in June and see how you feel about it then. It's not like it's going anywhere.
Absolutely. Things like what, for example?
It's getting late and it's snowing.
Good night, officer. We'll meet in front of the shack in the morning.
Alright, time to get a date, chat. Watch this shit.
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon. I can feel it.
3%.
The wind is turning.
Oh yes, she does. You need to get your drink on. There is no other way for human beings to procreate. Not after 6,000 years of yeast cultivation-based mating rituals.
Okay. Where's this going? Absurdly and pointedly phrased. You can be quite funny, officer. Anyway, what did you want?
She doesn't even understand. You asked her out. Perhaps you're too sober to pull it off right now.
Unlucky. I'll be retrying some checks too, right? Got
It's
quite a lot
getting
of them. Can I do this?
On the table, you see a bowl of water. An old mirror hangs on the wall. The bed is comforting, if a bit run down. Still, you've earned a rest. Across the room, the heating system hums its soft lullaby. The mattress feels soft and sheets warm. It only takes you moments for the world to fall away.
Thoughts, baby. A million little lights in the dark. You're one fine instrument, brother. All those faces
Okay, he talks too slow, I'm sorry.
forever on Faraday. On and on it goes for untold hours. At the disco where you've behold, there are millions of them down there. The first time. It's the world, Harry boy, and you're made of it. You can never forget this shit. Beautiful. It's stuck. You're the son of the world again. Harrister, a ceaseless agent.
Reading your awful letters and recalling things, aren't you? The endless names of the world. An address book you are. The map.
You'll go insane if you keep going like this. One more day.
For the working class.
Solving your little crossword puzzles. Doing your tasks. Crossing names off lists. There he goes again. He's a real political and
He's got no idea what he's in for.
'cause only love can break your heart. Beep, beep, beep. The alarm is ringing, Harry. The disc.
Do it for the wind. Do it for the picture puzzle. Put it all together. Solve the world. One conversation at a time. Rise and shine, comrade. It's time to get to work. Despite all the thinking you've been doing, only 0.0001% of communism has been built. It's too great a task to undertake alone. You're going to have to get organized. Organization hasn't exactly been your strong suit, historically speaking. You must seek out your revolutionary brothers and sisters. Find out how much communism they've built. Then, together, maybe you'll be able to build as much as 0.0002% of communism, but it won't be easy. Decades of persecution by coalition authorities have driven the remaining communists of Martinaise underground. They live underground. These communists aren't men. They're mole people. Possibly, if you have been, it's only because you're a double agent acting in furtherance of your long-term objectives. Listen to this. Do you really think you're the kind of person an underground communist cell would entrust with a mission that requires such discretion? Regardless, what's past is past. You need to look forward to the work of building communism for all. They're not mole people. They're your comrades in the eternal class struggle. It's your task to find and join them. Just between us, you may want to lay off this grind up the bourgeoisie stuff. It's a bit off-putting, even to fellow communists. Let your nose guide you, detective. Yes, fortunately, communists are known to have a very distinct smell. We really have no idea what they're talking about. There's no linkage between ideology and olfaction. First, you'll have to locate the remaining communists in Martinaise. When you get near to someone with revolutionary potential, your nose will give you the signal to establish contact. Again, no, it won't. Any olfactory response you perceive will be strictly psychosomatic. Judging from the bust of Krasmazov and other revolutionary paraphernalia you discovered, it seems that the Cape Side apartments may be a hotbed of communist activity. You'll discuss the monumental world historical task that lies before you. You'll engage in rigorous and spirited debates about Mazovian theory and practice. But mostly, you'll probably complain about other communists. Not at all. Complaining about other communists is one of the most important parts of being a communist. Here we go. Wake, brave worker. 'Tis no time for bed. Fight till there's no slaves below and no masters overhead.
It's like a communist revolution is beginning. Very cool. Oh, hey, Kim.
Yes?
The lieutenant's posture becomes rigid and uncomfortable as you lean forward and sniff the area just above his shoulder blade. The lieutenant is fastidious as a cat in matters of his personal upkeep. And yet, in the folds of his jacket, you can just perceive the stale and acrid traces of oil rags, transmission fluid, and brake pads. But what sort of ideological picture do these smells paint? Tough to say.
Do you need something, detective? I do like to hang around the motor pool every now and then, but that doesn't make me a mechanic. Sort of like how hanging around the liquor store hasn't made you into a master distiller. You're right, detective. My apologies. Was there something else you...
Alright, let's... God damn it. Let's finish the last area we haven't been to yet. Before we actually decide our approach to things. And retrying checks and shit. This is the last place we haven't checked. It's a lot.
The remaining windows rattle from a strong gust of wind. They're covered in a thick layer of grime. They must have been like this for 40 years.
No. I won't even try. You know, I had a partner once. They called him Eyes, because he had to show me things. It's that bad. Well enough, actually. It's odd how that works. I'm no sharpshooter, but I pass my shooting courses 7 out of 10.
You see, a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D, a slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now, only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, tomorrow is just a whisper away.
Looks like tomorrow never came.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with. You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Tran Heidelstam. You must be keen to
Heidelstam von Deutschland.
Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, hypertext. Young Carp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks. Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall. No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of him, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers. Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into Worms lately.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor, or someone who's been on too many radio shows.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in 08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But why? Well, get a load of this guy. He really enjoys his trivia. The Orbis programming language was named after its inventor, Victor Orbis, a cybernetician from Grad. They run Vox in the Occidental countries.
I do have some money, yes, but that's not what's really important here.
No, I mean, come on. You need the money. If it's not a thing, he can give you some.
Oh no, I don't have it on me, officer. I was talking in more general terms. I'm just spending time with my kid here, showing him around the lesser-known parts of our hometown. It wouldn't be wise to carry huge amounts of cash on such expeditions. Aha! But it's not just any empty old building. What not a lot of people know is, this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical. And Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
Hold on. What's R&D?
Apologies, it's an acronym for research and development. They don't use it anymore. You're probably more familiar with RTD, research and technological development.
Mea culpa. You are not familiar with that one either. This man is a bookhead. It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains. They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve. Or should I say, they were developing an ace up their sleeve? I'm mixing my metaphors here. It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer. An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution. Revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bring them to the average consumer, which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, ICN and ZAM, haven't achieved yet. Indeed.
The revolution!
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes, possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins. All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D. Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computer...
He means that the boys got shot by the communists. The boys were bourgeois.
Officer, I told you this chapter of history wasn't on Mikhail's curriculum yet. Let's keep this kid friendly.
The boy looks first at you, then back at his father, confused.
Yes, they even built a
I had to do
pleasure
it for
wheel,
the
but that
XP.
got destroyed in the war.
A pleasure wheel?
Perhaps reminded of a childhood memory. It's clear he would prefer there were a big wheel lighting up the coast.
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics. But history had other plans. They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases. The most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars. What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02.
A short-lived legislative foundation for a short-lived utopia.
It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bon Baiser dans le Lind. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion.
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware.
Buckle up.
10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Womty Dumpty Dum Center in Vredefort, Oranje. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Juice joined the team, trying to...
Wait, did he just say Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? He did it. He said Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center, like it's the most natural thing in the world. What the hell is a Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? And who the hell are Keith and Guy Juice?
The Womty Dumpty Dum Center for Contemporary Arts. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to... In fact, I'm not. The Womty Dumpty Dum Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center. But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing.
Made of black film and folding tape structures.
Very, very cool. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The felt playback experiment vanished into the fires of '07. Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources report it as the felt playback experience, but those are incorrect. Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building. But of course, what else? Sure, what's on your... But of course. No, thanks to you for having me and little Mikael here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
Pick your brain? If anything, this was rather one-sided. He did the talking. Whatever. A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural angle. Right next to him is an empty bottle of spirits. In his cramped hand, a chewing gum wrapper. The smell is not as bad as a 2-week-old corpse, but it's definitely heading there.
Hold on. Lividity is faintly pronounced. Whoever this is has been dead for 2 days. No longer.
Another dead body. This is your job. Steel yourself. Calm now. Carefully. Just another day. Just another dead body. Breathe. He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with a bright blue lining. There are traces of kebab sauce on his chest.
Jo, to je Pavlík, kebabová omáčka.
A cool leather jacket with a bolt of blue? Oh no. This sounds terribly familiar. You find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded into 2. His jacket feels sodden and heavy under your hand.
Good. We should take a look at that library card after this is done.
The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk and hit his head against the metal bench. Coagulated blood covers his black hair. One of his feet is still dangling through the hole. A bad fall. It might have been dark outside. This place is a minefield in the dark. His expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Drops of water shining on his moustache. His eyes, empty and wide, look frightening in their frozen gaze. Height, 170 to 175 centimeters. Curly hair, stout build. Age, approximately 50 to 60 years. There's some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the corpse's head rests. The floorboards are rotten and slippery wet around the hole. An empty bottle lies nearby. A chewing gum wrapper is clutched in his fist. A dried chunk of blood covers the hair at the back of his head. An open wound. It's sticky and cold to your touch. This is what killed him.
I don't see any other major wounds, do you? Seems like the head wound was fatal. It's exactly the shape of the bench.
They screech under your feet ominously. It's hard to say whether the dead man's weight was the cause of the boardwalk to break. It definitely looks fragile. You see waves churning below. Something cracks beneath your feet. He could have easily disappeared into the sea through that hole, and you would have never found him. A .75 liter Tallulah vodka with its cap missing. There's hardly anything left inside.
Tear all around us. I'd prefer if you didn't collect them this time. It's not proper.
True. It feels disrespectful. Grabowski spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves on the cover. The man's mouth is half agape from the terror of the fall. The blackness of death. Stench. You think you see white chewing gum too. Confirmed. Nearly the whole pack is there. Solidified on his lower rear teeth.
He ate the whole pack, right? It's to cover the smell of alcohol before going home. The worst thing is, I've seen it before. Almost the same scenario. Even the chewing gum. It's always the same.
The entire boardwalk creaks in the wind as you take a step back.
Looks like one of the locals. He'd have to know this spot to come here. You don't just walk over here. But that's just a lazy assumption. What do you think?
A dead working class man with a bottle in his hand.
Might be the
husband
of the woman.
You know who this is.
Yeah. It just came up at the same
The woman
time.
you met at the book stand? Why do you think it's her husband?
Well, he didn't come home, did he?
Because it's the most working class death you've ever seen.
The bright blue lining? Well, he's definitely someone's husband. Death by misadventure. He slipped and fell through the boardwalk. A truly unfortunate accident. If it wouldn't have been for that bench, he'd be alive. No, I don't see anything that points in that direction. For now, let's treat this case as a simple, albeit sad, accident, unrelated to the murder case.
Agreed. If this somehow converges later, why not? But keep it simple for now.
Oh yes. Some symptoms of acute alcohol poisoning could have definitely played a role here. Severe confusion, respiratory depression, unpredictable behavior. But I think that death arrived through head trauma, not liver failure. What about it? The deceased ate some kebab. It's probably from a nearby place, maybe in the box.
Sometimes a kebab is just a kebab.
They'll seal this place off after the news reaches the coalition officials. I doubt that they have enough resources to actually repair the boardwalk. Not that sealing it off would keep anyone away. All it does is keep the city council's hands clean. It does seem to be a pretty straightforward misadventure, although there's still a question of identifying the body. From where I stand, I can see two options. We either take the case and follow the leads to identify the body on our own, or we report back to the station and leave this for our colleagues to handle. Alright, we should first examine the library card you found. Then we can call the station from my kinema. Let them know we are taking the case.
Actual art degree. Trite, contrived, mediocre, milquetoast, amateurish, infantile, cliché.
Right, before I get to all this, I wanna finish my other thing. Is there someone I can talk to progress time? Anyone? Is there no one else? So the door here. I really wanna open this fucking door, but it's gonna be so rough. Like, what are the odds? Impossible. Interfacing 20. It's literally the hardest check in the entire game. Nothing was 20 so far. Yeah. I need to progress like 20 minutes, man. Wait, why can't I fast travel? God damn it. Ahoj, Koko. Mwah. Mwah. Holčička jsi. Okay, možná když budeme konverzovat s těmahle věcmi, tak
Someone has
progresneme tam.
left an unidentifiable article of clothing on this railing. The cloth, if you can still call it that, makes a soft crunching sound as you thrust your finger into it. It's streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. A dangling arm suggests that there might be a jacket beneath the crust of filth. It seems likely that it was left in the surf until someone laid it out on this fence to dry out. Unfortunately, that just seems to have stiffened it into a shapeless mass.
Please tell me you're not taking that with you. I'm sure he'll be thrilled to have it returned.
The library card is folded into two and still slightly wet to the touch. The front side reads, Central Jamrock Public Library Card, issued to Billy Mejean, expires July 53. Billy is a unisex name. Could be the deceased, or his family member. Whoever owns this card is an avid reader. You find a list of books written in blue pencil. Radio thriller. Stand a little less between me and the sun. The last one in the list is The Glinting Curve by M. Theobald. A library stamp indicates that the book has been returned. Most of these titles seem to be in the sci-fi genre. Some thrillers too. If lost, please return the card to the library. Dial 005 02 55 211 or visit us at Moreau Street, 78, Jamrock. Business hours, 900 to 1800.
Good. We should give them a call from my kinema. See if we can learn anything about Billy Méjean.
As you hold it in your hands, it makes an uncomfortable crunching sound. It's a sordid, filthy tale, not for the weak. Are you sure you can stomach it? It occurs to you that you're not even holding the jacket itself, but rather the thick crust of jetsam and seagull shit that ensconces it. It smells like a dead sea creature, tangled in grey strands of seaweed. It must have spent quite some time in the water before the tide deposited it ashore. Somehow, it was carried or dragged to the boardwalk, if not by human hands, then perhaps the feral dogs that prowl the beaches at night. The faint impressions of many footprints are also present, though it's impossible to tell what kind or how many. Suffice to say, the jacket spent some time on the ground before someone draped it over the railing. The crust is hard. This jacket spent at least a day baking in the sun. Who knows what happened to it then? Somewhere, high above the city, a pair of seagulls trace loops through the air. They are like the bombardiers of the aerostatic brigades, gliding above a target-rich environment. All of a sudden, the bomb bay doors open, and their white glittering payload rushes to the ground. Splat! An explosion of white on a man's shoe. A curse goes up, but the birds do not hear. It's too late. You've already thought about it, and now your hands are covered in muck. What? No. Then it'll just be on your pants. This is a disaster. You'll never get the smell out. As you hold it in your hands, it makes an uncomfortable crunching sound. There is no why.
I just need to progress time a little bit more.
You pick up the handset. There's a tone. The machine is operable. Calling.
Best way to pass time.
Calling. Still.
Stop calling me, man. I'll get you your money, alright? I just need till tonight. Let me work.
The phone gets hanged up fast as lightning. All you hear is a little shuffle of nylon as the hand moves on the other end. Disconnect tone. Calling.
I'm tired.
Sounds like he hasn't talked to anyone in quite a while.
If I could go just 1 month without writing, no, 2 months, I could regenerate my brain. Fucking liberalism.
The man disappears with a sigh. You do not hear the customary disconnect tone, just silence in the handset. The machine is still waiting for you to dial a number. Seems like it did not have time to swallow the coin. This sometimes happens. Lucky you. The call went too fast for the payphone to register. You can still make a new one without paying. You close your eyes and the area code for Revachel's zone of control, followed by 7 digits at random. Still. Time keeps passing. What were you trying to achieve by closing your eyes? Did you want your muscle memory to take over and call somewhere? Where? Home? He doesn't have a home. Not anymore. Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center. You're at home, stupid cop. Not with the art crowd. You hate them. Everyone hates them. Even...
Alright, we got it. Now we go through everything. No.
There's a tear, an empty cigarette package, and a crumpled kebab wrapper in the trash bin. 2 empty bottles of Tallulah vodka and a can of black potent porter is all you find. No, there's more in there. Livis strawberry liquor, plus some Pilsner bottles too. Better not pick them up. They seem unhygienic.
A tragedy.
He shakes his head with genuine sadness. Whoever tossed it here was a heavy smoker. The brand name reads Red Astra. Red Astra is the black market version of Astra cigarettes, known for their high tar content. You see traces of mayonnaise and ketchup on it, as well as a tomato wedge. The wrapper reads Shish Kebab Revachol. It's no older than a day or two. No mold yet. It's hard to concentrate in the smell. The sea air brings some relief.
I'm gonna upgrade my interfacing. I have like 4 checks on it now. No reason to delay that anymore. Jesus, this place was a fucking XP phone. She fucking started here. Well, let's check the north. There seems to be nothing like super, you know, like something that requires a long time to figure out. This door I'm gonna leave for like literally the last thing ever. It's still probably gonna be very unlikely I open it, but I'm gonna try. Let's check all this. Looks like there's nothing here. Co pípáš, Koko? Huh? That did nothing. That was weird. Huh? Tiomotirid cigarettes. But why is it important? It's a bird. Dobrý, Kupra, jsme našli tvoje mrtvé tělo. Prasklo prkno, spadla ti do toho noha, hlavou si rozbil o labičku, lepku. A v koši byl po tobě nalezen jen obal od kebabu. Proto jsme zjistili, že seš to ty. Prostě jenom kebabový obal. Je to tak? Je mi to líto, papi. Jednou to přijít muselo. Share. Some new stuff I need to organize. Shared boots. I thought I had something more. Páž o střílení, střílel jsem se včera v noci. Už mi začalo hodit, jak mi ty vlasy vlejou na ksichtě. Zmrdliv mě za to dokonce pochválil. Prý nevypadám jak totální vyjebaná píča. Což od něj bylo velice hezké. Co chceš, Koko? Co tady loudíš? Ty loudíš, viď? Ty jsi malý loudič. Hledáme interspacing. Proč to nemám seřad? Proč mám brýle tady? Já už mám plný inventář. No, to jde. Mě vůbec nenapadlo, že by něco takového mohlo jít. Let's try again.
There's still some unused change in there. The machine waits for a number to be dialed. Again you close your eyes, and again you calling, and calling for...
Can't believe I failed it again on 83%. It's fine. I just throw another point in it eventually. And we have to try the other checks first. Alright, we haven't checked everything here. Not here, but this one and to the left here. It's like the last part we haven't checked out. More people. Tiny cages, hunters. Military bulkheads. Okay, locks. Boy.
That patch of reeds over there, it's a great place to hide something. Kind of out of the way, being so close to the water. You don't have a reason to. Yet, nothing. Just a hunch. The hunch passes, leaving you there, by the old boy bobbing in the water. Time to go.
This is the last unexplored location we have in this game. Fun people. Jste kurva people. That's a hat. Pustý. I have only one inventory space left. What happens when I'm full? Like, can I throw away stuff? I don't think I can. Or does some skill point increase inventory space? Oh, okay, when the inventory fills up, it creates a new line. That's kind of weird.
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other. Unable to piece together the big picture just now, there's a hole in their hypothesis. The scattering of bullet holes looks like one giant...
Jesus, I'm failing every check today.
Smiling its deadly smile, laughing at you, and the world, and the living.
Correct. The density of the bullet holes is unusual, even in a general average bullet hole frequency in Martinez sense. Meaning, this is a lot of bullet holes. Looks like fully automatic rifle fire. Something you don't see these days. The manufacturing and sale of automatic rifles was curtailed after the revolution. The destructive power of such tools proved to be too much. We do need to retain some humanity in this world.
Alright, almost got it all, just 2 more new people. And then we can finally start solving shit. So who are you fellas?
Here we go. Nice and easy.
Oh, it's these
No way out,
guys.
little guys. Not out of this jam.
There's a cylinder on the ground in which the man is arranging some netting. It looks like some kind of trap. he notices you.
Who's there? Oh, the police. Hello, officers.
Is that the police? Why are the police here?
Don't worry, Gary. I'll handle it. To what do I owe the pleasure?
That's sarcasm. He takes no pleasure from your appearance.
Oh, no. It's all right. I'm just busy. What's this about? Of course. Thank you for passing along the message. That damn water lock is broken, and we can't go all the way around the A81. You broke the water lock with a motor carriage? There was a billboard in the canal. Not a vehicle. It said Samaran Butter. Why? Sure. But you said the water lock is fixed now. So we can go back.
Did he say we can go back now?
Yes, Gary. We can go soon. If you see Lena, tell her I won't be long.
Sir, your wife is waiting for you.
I just have to do one more round. See if the phasmid has taken the bait. Then we're going. Well, first of all, it's damn difficult to find, which is why we've been knee-deep in the reeds laying traps for it. Good question. Being a phasmid of the order Phantasmodea, a ghost insect, it disguises itself as plant matter. In this case, the reeds. Awful lot of reeds around, aren't there? And I suspect it may have also developed other specialised techniques to protect itself from predators, or scientists in our present case. It's my hypothesis that it has evolved certain electrochemical defences that allow it to interfere with animal perception, impeding pattern recognition, confusing the visual cortex. But I cannot describe how these defences work, much less how they evolve, without studying a live specimen.
Yes, it makes perfect sense. You're beginning to suspect there's something paranatural about this phasmid. A ghost insect, he said? These people are looking for a ghost.
No, that is precisely what we're not. We are zoological specialists, looking for an extant species of phasmid. I'm expecting it to be quite giant. One known species of phasmid, called the Megaphasmodea zoensis, is about the size of a grown man's forearm. So, typical rookie assumption. Insects are much more sophisticated creatures than those unversed in zoology give them credit for. Even simply catching a glimpse of the Insulindian phasmid would be the apex of my, of any, cryptozoologist's career. But to study it and its defences, find out how it stayed hidden so long. Very little, I'm sorry to say. No one's ever captured a specimen, so all our information is based on first and third-hand accounts. Not yet. That's what makes it a cryptid.
Just out of curiosity, if there's no proof of its existence, how do you know it's real?
I know it's real.
It's clear that his obsession with the phasmid is driven by something more than the pure pursuit of scientific advancement.
By which I mean, I've heard enough first-hand accounts to believe quite firmly that the Insulindian phasmid is more than mere superstition. Yes, the most recent sighting was by a couple of teenagers along the coast here. That's what brought us to Martinez specifically. It's the first credible sighting in several decades. Admittedly, it's an unusual location for this species, but with all the sewage runoff upstream, it probably doesn't matter much anymore. I have to resist the thought. Such an extraordinary creature is doubtlessly highly resilient. After all, it's generally thought to be capable of parthenogenesis. Yes, the females don't need males to reproduce. Makes it easier for a species to survive in adverse conditions. Yes, the Insulindian phasmid is a very clever insect. That's why it's so damn difficult to catch. But as a scientist, I try my best to remain dispassionate. Well, they may not look impressive, but Lena designed them quite cleverly, so I'm sure they'll do the trick. Yes. Simple. Attracted by the locusts, the phasmid crawls down the funnel, and, having eaten its fill, can't get back out. At least, that's the intention. The net isn't a perfect solution, but we didn't want to use anything that might damage the specimen's delicate exoskeleton. Locusts. Nearly all known phasmids are herbivores, of course. But we've hypothesized that the Insulindian phasmid might occasionally prey on other insects.
Inside the traps, a number of locusts crawl and tumble over one another in a tiny, chittering swarm. A meat-eating stick insect? Does it pretend to be the reeds as part of its ambush?
Oh, I know what it is.
This seems unlikely.
It's praying mantis. That's what he's looking for. Good lunka.
Thank you for your opinion. We have also included plant material in the traps to satiate your skepticism. They'll work, I assure you. The predatory hypothesis,
I think at
using
least.
locusts as bait,
There's a praying
accounts
mantis
for the
type
failure
that
of
looks like a
previous
snake.
efforts by other teams, which use plants. We have given this some thought.
The traps do seem to be deftly and thoughtfully constructed. It's clear the cryptozoologist's wife knows what she's doing.
Yes. What? And I'm eager to return to her, I assure you. But I can't leave before we finish with these traps. My wife understands that just as well as anyone.
Come on, Morel. We've been soaking out here for days. It's time to go back.
And leave the traps? Absolutely not. I won't let Lena down.
Come on, she wants us back. I'm soaked up to my nuts over here. We'll both catch reed crabs if we don't dry out soon.
Won't let Lena down? Sounds like the cryptozoologist's wife shares a special connection to the phasmid somehow.
Of course it's important to her. She's seen it. A verified sighting, on record. One of only 4 this century, and it's hers. Yes, that's how we first came to know one another, in fact. But that's her story to tell, not mine.
Needless to say, you must ask her about the mysterious phasmid.
Suffice to say, it's long been our dream to find proof of the Insulindian phasmid together.
I actually forgot who gave me this quest. Was it the lawyer girl?
No. The traps need to be monitored on a regular schedule. What would we do if the phasmid were to
No, there's no way that was
while
over.
we were sipping tea at the hostel?
He's dead set on this. I could go for some trap setting.
I didn't expect you to take such an interest in our work here, officer. Yes, indeed. Both require a great deal of research, attention to detail, and, above all, persistence. There are 4 in total. One is to the south, on this little peninsula, by the boathouses there. It's very near. Another we set in Land's End, to the northeast. It's behind a small sand dune there, on your way to the old radio tower, after the church. The third is set near the canal, where you crossed, by a concrete slab. A big thicket of reeds going up the slope, and among them, you should check at least one of those before returning to this one, since I just said it. This one's more of a technicality, but still, better safe and stupid than sorry.
That seems like a lot. Do we really have time for this extracurricular venture? Is it?
If you think it's important, you have been right before.
Bring it to me at once. Just make sure the trap is closed tight.
He's not comfortable with the possibility that you'll claim the find, but he's lying about this even to himself.
That's highly unlikely, officer. But in the event you do, I'll spray you with a pheromone mixture I developed. It's made of musk and research chemicals. The pheromone should attract the insect to you, or at least prevent it from bolting at the sight of you. It's quite potent. Will last you about a week. Wise choice.
This is the smell of dying reeds, of longing crumbling into the water.
I hope you're not buying this. He dispenses it without letting you touch the canister, so it would be precious like holy water.
It is precious. A single dose cost me 50 real to develop. Not that I expect you to understand self-financing one's own research.
Right, which means you two can pack up and go back to the boiling.
Whatever he thinks about this detour, it's clear that these men are exhausted and in need of assistance.
Finally, someone's talking sense.
Thank you for your help. Gary and I will start breaking down camp. If you have any more questions, now's the time to ask. We'll be gone once you get to it.
If it's more cryptid-related business you want to discuss, you'll have time for that later too. But what if the information is vital? On the hunt.
I've just always liked animals and puzzles. Searching for cryptids is a bit of both. It's not child's play, just because I have to traipse through the mud every so often. Real. I know you think one is a respectable profession, while the other is superstition. Everyone does. My methods do not differ from other scientists. I simply draw upon a wider variety of evidence. And I have more hope that something truly surprising might happen. No, as I said, I have yet to catch a cryptid, although I have come close. Close enough to keep trying. Everything from forgotten regional lore to newspaper accounts, like the one that brought us here, to look for the phasmid. I keep a very open mind.
He's interested in things that people believe that scientists don't.
Most establishment scientists only care about reputation and remuneration, not real research, and certainly not the truth. They're a cowardly lot, and both the field and basement archives can be dangerous places. No, very few cryptids are ever discovered, and not for a lack of trying. To stay hidden is a cryptid's primary quality. It's even in the name, cryptid. Of the list of cryptids kept by the Cryptozoological Society of Chemney, which is 4,082 items long, about 2,000 have been confirmed as hoaxes. 2 are categorized as confirmed discoveries. The rest are in differing stages of discovery, refutation, and data collection. Yes, the Chateau Quan forest pygmy, who turned out to be an extinct species of primate, and a cave salamander from Hugo Grad, who is, honestly, quite unremarkable. It's in a zoo somewhere. We cryptozoologists are brutally honest with ourselves. More so even than the public. With cryptids, most cryptids are hoaxes or they are never found. That does not mean we should stop searching. In fact, it is 0.05%. Ever more magnificent, should our search contribute to making that number 0.075%.
He has clearly done his math on this. There is
No, of the list 2 are... Yes, we cryptozoologists are brutally honest indeed.
the hair on your... He has clearly done his math.
Yes? Alright. What cryptids precisely? I usually discuss these things with specialists, so I don't know what.
We would have to discuss. He wants to say, but decides against it, since you've offered to help. You need to ask him about specific cryptids. Cryptids you've heard about from Lena, or his friend Gary. He won't just talk.
A willow person. It's a long story. One not...
Willow people. not
Okay, I think we'll
They're not people, they're very,
skip through this. This is too much.
After wait, I'll change.
11.
Oh no, you further.
He makes a real point here.
Confirmed. For the most dangerous creature, yes. The human, just like you can.
A moose that looks like any other moose. What's going on here? He's kidding, right?
The bodies found in the forest. The recent surge in the moose population. Moose up the camp it makes once the
Holy
moose
shit, that's a lot of text.
building. As though they were
This isn't something.
Anyway,
Here is a man who was in
that's impressive, I guess. But have you seen it with your own eyes? Remarkable. When? That's what I thought. You haven't actually. I feel.
Yes, it remains unclear what this...
That's impressive. Of course you haven't. I haven't had it. I feel.
Yes, it remains unclear.
Although, a flight, when it's a Mijana, they're not the area after.
Chtěl by ses takhle bavit o broucích pavlíků.
He makes it a real point here.
All right. Now for me, by all means.
Jesus. Ty máš rád broučky.
Hello, I'm Gary.
Huh?
Very generous of you to help us out, officer. Yellow man. I mean, officer.
Huh? Wait, what?
The lieutenant raises his eyebrows slightly and takes out his notebook. Yellow man. Interesting. This is something to ask him about.
I don't think I should be asking him about that.
I'm just waiting for my friend Morel to finish up with his insect traps so we can return to civilization. I like nature, just not this bloody coast. It's mostly drunks and degenerates that come here.
Degenerates? This man respects authority too much. To see the truth inscribed upon thine own visage. Pretend thou art the paragon of virtue.
Dark times will do that to good men. Oh, so that's what the RCM in Martinez is about. Great. Great to hear someone's finally taking care of that.
So you do know something about it?
No. Nothing. He was some kind of mercenary. But everyone here knows that. I'm just glad to hear you're looking into it.
He didn't kill him or anything, but there's something going on here.
My mug? Why would you think that? Really? I hear it all the time. All in jest, of course. No offense meant to anyone. Okay, I admit it. I threw the mug away in the trash container behind the hostel. I know I shouldn't have, and I am very sorry, officer. You're not going to fine me, are you? Oh, God. 250? How am I gonna pay that? Okay, I'll work harder. I'll pay it off. I promise.
This is a considerable expense to him. 1 month's wage, most likely. It's, in a way, admirable how quickly he composes himself after such a blow. This man digs authority, even when it's bullying him.
And I'll never do it again. I don't know what got into me, really. Work has been stressful lately. Damn Koiko's price dumping us out of competition.
What did you do, Gary?
Nothing. Just answering some questions. Helping out the law. I know a guy who works with the trash collection services. CS Municipal. He gave me a master key for the trash containers of Martinez. So I can use the Whirling's trash compactor to store my own stuff. Garbage disposal is expensive as hell. The damn Hemians run it like a mob. I'm sorry, okay? I thought I could cut costs. I shouldn't have.
Disgraced. No need for the histrionic, sir. It was, after all, just a trash container.
He studies his reaction. Gary doesn't answer.
Officer, please. Let me explain. It's not like that. I was only cleaning up. I live right across the yard from where he was hanged, and I saw him stripped naked. All the clothes lying around in the yard, smelling. People are animals, you know? Then I came out to clean up the rags because no one else would. I put them into the whirling's trash, along with a broken mug, admittedly. Okay. I was coming to throw the mug away, and, well, I threw the mug there and the clothes too.
Right. It was just civic duty.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. Civic duty. Armor? No. I mean, yes. Of course. I know he was wearing armor.
Jesus Christ, can this guy be fucking honest?
An infant could see he's not telling the truth, but he's too scared to admit more wrongdoing.
I hope I could help your investigation, in my small way. No. I help Morel with research sometimes, and I've learned some things along the way, but I don't usually go in for picnics like this on my own.
After all this time with Morel, he must have an opinion on cryptids. This could lead to a good one.
Oh, yes, the burning rhino. Morel doubts he's real, but I don't much care, because I won't be the one looking for him out in Safra Serai. A rhinoceros that looks ordinary during the day, but burns brightly by night. Well, at least the males do. They have special ducts just above their shoulder blades that secrete a combustible fluid. When the rhino is just beginning to light itself, it looks as though it has wings of fire.
But how is this combustible fluid lit?
The rhino starts running very fast to build heat, then stops, raises its head, and sparks fly from its neck, setting its back ablaze. Revacol used to be a flaming rhino once, a long time ago. They have...
But how is this
The rhino starts running...
We don't really do that, right?
Perhaps we should have more... The flames are during the local...
The lieutenant sighs. It's clear the burning rhino is dear to him on many levels. So...
Not many Sealites here, or anywhere, other than Sail. I meant no offense, truly.
Do you remember how, when we met Measurehead and I said the next races will be the really good one?
I do remember.
Well, this is that racist.
Hey, man, all I meant was there are not many Sealites around here. I'm just stating a fact. No problem at all. Not many.
Do you remember how, when we met Well, this is that racist.
Hey, man, all I meant was there are not many Sealites around here. Oh, yes. Of course he is. Not many.
Do you remember how, well, this is...
Hey, man.
The lieutenant looks up at...
Oh, no. Nothing like that. Definitely not scheming.
We'll be on our way soon. No. No, of course not. Why? Well, he's been a little unenthusiastic about the trip. More so than usual. That's understandable. He just wants to get home and warm up.
He doesn't want to say it, but this is unusual. Gary's been to the jungle with him, to places way more challenging than the coast. Why so eager to go home?
Okay. I already did my best to inform...
Layman? You all...
Did he? That one's a hoax. Many times. Many of them...
If perhaps slightly less enjoyable.
Which one? The burning rhino is where they draw the line.
I doubt that. By all means.
Always. I mean, officers.
Alright, let's check if we got any composure. Nope. God, I have so much shit, man. So much shit and no fucking composure. Let's just high roll 8%.
I mean, officer.
Easy.
Is he? He's looking comfortable enough.
Why would I do that, officer? But, officer,
Alright, I think we finally discovered everything. Holy macaroni, man. And now we need to do fucking quests. And there's a lot. I mean, we could just start with the traps, it's already here, right? Čekat, jen bych chtěl něco vidět ode mě. Co udělat JJPasak Minecraft server? To už tady jednou bylo, ne? Já nemám rád Minecraft. On je Honzík! Slíbený Minecraft server. Žádný slíbený Minecraft server. Co, Honzíku, chybí ti naše skupina nebo ne? Jako vůbec si neprojevil zájem, že bys chtěl zpátky.
There's a trap in the reeds at your feet. Looks like the same one you saw Morel set before. Same mesh, same wiring. The reeds sway in the coastal breeze. They seem to be waiting for something. The wind picks up here, near the cape's end, surrounding the narrow strip of land from 3 cardinal directions. It's cold for this time of year. Locusts are crawling around in the trap, confused but uneaten. You see no carnivorous reed phasmid gorging on them.
Big surprise. Anyway, 1 down, 3 to go. No, you weren't.
Nothing has changed.
Jak to jendy? Co ti Honzík provedl? I forgot one location. Which is unfortunate. Pak nicht tu skleničku. It kinda feels good that I'll finally start solving cases, but also kinda feels sad that it means I'm definitely behind half the game now. Holy shit, this jam. I need to listen a little bit. Skbadinja, I am Beery Aranja. Hardcore!
Good morning, comrade. Yeah.
Yeah. To zvážím, Mandy. Já nevím, proč Reaver se odmítá v té skupině bavit. Já i když mu napíšu, ať napíše do skupiny, tak řekne, že nechce psát do skupin. Možná je to tím, jako nemáš hlouby duši ráda, jen ty. Jsi hodně agresivní. Ještě potřebujeme poslechnout jeden z Alkáč story od tohohle, že jo? No, a máme ho, Jack.
Ah, tequila. I knew you'd come through. That's fucking great, man. Let me see. What? This isn't my jacket. My jacket was beautiful. This is fucking filthy. What am I supposed to do with this? I'm not taking a disgusting pile of hobo rags. I may be in an irrecoverably decaying orbit, but I've still got standards. Either bring it back the way it was before, or find a dumpster to burn it in.
You know, despite the guano, it looks like the jacket itself is stain resistant. It may just need a good scrubbing.
Tequila.
Can I not hear his last story? Or maybe only he can do it on the at night. I'll buy one beer and see if it unlocks. Okay, it does. Unlock.
Of course. Drink first, story later. Not much, but this last one is the most Martinet story I've ever heard. I've never heard it mentioned outside of here. At first, I thought it was a joke, to be honest. But I've been on the coast 8, 9 months now, and in that time I've seen at least 3 expeditions come through, searching for something.
A shovel hits the sand somewhere behind the reeds, near an abandoned construction yard. The young men look over their shoulders suspiciously. The sound of their digging seems loud in the sudden silence.
Magic animals? No, man, this is serious stuff. No, Tequila. Most people already know where they live. It's guys like you and me that are the exceptions. Hey, hey! Fuck you, Tequila. All kinds. I've seen archaeologists, gangsters, even a bunch of ad agency types. I'm telling you, Tequila, this thing's got a pull on certain kinds of people. You know, obsessive types. People with predilections. Some of those expeditions come back after a week or so, looking haggard and dejected. Others don't return at all. The first time I saw one of these expeditions, I thought they were fucking with me. There was no way it could be true. It was just too high concept, even for me. I'm not even sure I should be telling you this story, to be perfectly honest. You're in a fragile state, and it might be too much for you to handle. Okay, fine, I'll tell you. But I'm warning you, it's pretty out there. Our story begins at a legendary design studio, right here in Martinez. There was this designer. His exact name is lost to history, but in life, he was a legend. Made it big in Aranya, where he did some real pioneering work on grotesque and sans serif typography. A fucking genius, man. That is, if he even existed. Who knows? It's an urban legend after all. Anyway, sometime later he started his own personal studio here in Martinez. And that's when he started working on some really wild stuff. I'm talking some glass-smooth, forward-looking design language, the kind of thing that would totally overthrow the old regime, design-wise.
A paradigm-shattering revolutionary?
But then, something turned. You see, it's widely known that nose candy and pioneer graphic design work go hand in hand. You know tequila, nose candy, the white railroad, party powder.
The kids on the streets also call it snow day.
Or Emalan gold. For the plateau on which most of the world's supply is grown and harvested, typically by slave labor.
Sinus salt, the white knight.
Can't see, for its popularity among the aristocratic class of the prior century.
Along with a number of more banal street names. Blow, of course, but also flake, powder, pearl. Really, anything that's white will work. He's talking about cocaine, baby.
Shit yeah, tequila. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You've got to understand, the work this guy was doing was so high concept that regular amounts of cocaine just weren't cutting it. By the end, they were bringing it in by the lorry load. Now, as you might imagine, snorting that much cocaine can't be healthy for a regular human, right?
Right. Wrong. Do it all the time. All day, baby.
Hey, tequila, pay attention. The story goes that one day he was balls deep in work on what he thought would be his pièce de résistance, an advert so minimal it contained neither text nor images, just pure white. Apparently the idea was too high concept even for this genius. He dropped dead right at his desk before he could finish. His last words are recorded to have been, "It's as white as a blizzard of cocaine." I know, tequila. I know. But the story doesn't end there. Supposedly, when they performed the autopsy, the coroner discovered nearly 1/4 kilo of coke jammed into his nasal cavity.
That's almost certainly anatomically impossible. Wrong again, nerd. Where there's a will, there's a way.
That's right. 250 grams of blow had accumulated in there over the years. We're talking high-grade Saramaritsian pure. Not that cut-rate shit your grandma does. There are those who believe the designer was buried with this 1/4 key of nose candy still lodged in his sinuses. That's what those expeditions are looking for.
The cocaine skull.
The cocaine skull. No. Wow! Here's the kicker. This designer, this lead designer of a world-famous design studio, was born in Martinez. A local boy, Martin Martinet. That's why he brought his studio here, back to where it all began. And that's why they buried him here, too. Perhaps right under Ab's pipe there. Or probably further down the coast, or in some yard in Martinez proper. A hidden mausoleum, no one knows exactly.
No, my grandma always told me his grave lay somewhere on the islets on the bay.
This is ludicrous and physically impossible. Sinuses can contain that amount of anything.
Now, detective. Always the skeptic. My only question is, where does one get a shovel?
The archaeologists say they want to put it in a museum, the gangsters say they want to sell it on the black market, and the ad agency guys say they're seeking inspiration.
Bullshit. They just want to snort it. But you could beat them to it, Harry. You could snort the magic skull cocaine instead.
I'm pretty sure they all just want to snort it, though.
And why wouldn't they, eh? Sounds like right strong stuff.
Don't listen to him or his grandma. He's just making things up.
No, my grandma told me. I've heard other people say it too. That it's underwater. Or no. Maybe it was the storm suit.
Or maybe it's in the air. Or in an ancient state pyramid offshore.
In a pyramid? Now that would be something. Bullshit. Bullshit.
And why wouldn't they, eh?
They're pretty vague about it in general. The gangsters like to claim they're looking for the grave of a friend, with picks and shovels. The archaeologists act all official about it, saying they're conducting serious research. Honestly, I think they're not really scientists, just rich. The junkies, for some reason, are pretty upfront about it. They just say they're looking to snort some blow out of a dead man's nasal cavity.
Honest men on an honest quest. You should join them.
By now, I'd say I know about as much about it as anyone on the coast. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on just a minute. Finding it right now is literally impossible.
What?
For one, the way is blocked by that big lorry that says Delta Logistics Company on the side. You definitely have to search the area behind that lorry too. Yet, it is impassable. And second, outfitting an expedition like that is expensive. It'd have to be a big production to do the cocaine skull.
Oh, is it in the fucking storage thing?
Doing all kinds of provisions. It's just not feasible within the economic and temporal frame of our current setup. Matter of fact, unless a bunch of money just falls out of the sky, we might never know what's up with that skull.
I have to agree. We barely have what we need to solve the case we've got now. We can't afford to run around chasing after quasi-mythical pieces of drug paraphernalia. Besides, it would look extremely bad for the RCM to be caught up in something that has the word cocaine writ large on it. The PR is tricky on this.
Wait, maybe there's another way. Maybe up around the coast? Don't give up now.
Yeah, well, that's the reality situation for you. Who knows, though? Maybe someday we'll get our chance. Right. I've never...
A shovel hits the sand.
You know, some of the first...
There's no you.
I'm not even sure I should be telling you this. Okay, there was...
He existed, or I'm talking.
Anyway.
A paradigm shift.
But then something... You've got... Now.
Right, wrong. Oh.
Hey, apparently the idea was too high concept even for this G. But the...
That's wrong.
There are the...
The cocaine skull.
No. Here's... That's... Or...
No, more...
This is ludicrous.
Now, my only question is, where does one get it?
Whoa.
What?
For one, it's...
I have to... Besides...
Wait.
Yeah, well, that's the... Not that I can think of, currently. That might be the case. Yes.
Že to nemá budoucnost hrát s důchodcema. To už si jednou psal, Martinku, nemůžeš opakovat svoje vtipy. To je neetické. Jsi neetický.
The scruffy-haired little... This one doesn't say anything. Kicking the concrete with his worn-out sneaker.
Lily's our mum.
The stone kicker laughs suddenly. His head is too large for his shoulders. The other one laughs as well. So intellectually stimulating.
You're stupid. Okay. You're stupid.
Just a second ago, the first one was laughing. It looks like he's sad because you're There's no system to this.
You're stupid.
The secrets of understanding the tongues of children have been lost to you a long time ago.
Nech pana Roubíka. Nech pana dědečka Roubíka. Martě, ty jsi dneska nějaký hodně špatný. Hodně špatný chlapec jsi dneska. Jsem z toho úplně zděšený. Ale úplně zděšený jsem z toho. Co je tohle? Tady by někde měla být ta pasta, nebo až u toho mostu. A tady.
A familiar apparatus lies among. The reeds bend forlornly toward the sand. You see slabs of concrete north. In the east, the city center hums to you. The constant, distant song. Louder on this part of the coast. Nearer somehow. And there's that cold again. Always the cold. This trap is also full of panicked locusts. No sign of any cryptozoological beast inside.
Another empty trap. Always up for a good jog. Otherwise, would I still be on this case with you?
No, Marťo, tak to jsi lepší než je Felix, ten mi nadává, protože mi chce ublížit a chce vidět, jak mě to bolí. Protože mu to dělá dobře, když mě to bolí. Okay, yeah, I have no idea where the last two traps are, to be honest, but first I wanna check out the shop anyway, I guess. Both the shops, actually. Oi, mate.
The shine on these sunglasses lasts a lifetime, officer. One a man who knows his style. Much respect.
These
are all.
Alright, we got all that.
The speakers below are banged up and worthless. The sneakers triumph over them. They're the star of the show.
Okay, I don't think we'll buy that just yet.
You keep coming back. That's good, officer. Gotta prepare for springtime.
Perception. Should have a new row now, I do. Composure, and this is a shirt or a jacket? Jacket.
As you hold it in its probably.
How do I fix this jacket?
Everything still me?
This man probably comes from Seaguy. Sometime Apricot suzerainty calls to mind an era when the Seaguy archipelago was colonized.
Very cool. I admire your awareness of our intertwined histories. It's super nice of you to apologize for colonialism, but the Apricot suzerainty is a shithole. That's why I left. That's so cool of everything still
I wanna
here,
explore
officer.
this.
This man probably comes.
Very me?
This man, Apricot suzerainty calls to mind an era when the Apricot.
Speaking of,
Okay, I don't think we're good anywhere with this. Right, so there's a sneakers for 50 fucking bucks that I can't afford. What does this guy have again?
All the old. You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table.
And now I have something for interfacing, but I might have it already on me. Yeah, I think I do. Perception. Let's die.
You see
Proč
rows
na
of toy
prno, ty vole, s
soldiers
kým hraje
guarding the
prno?
rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Why? What's this? A headless man riding a horse? A headless man wearing futuristic tracksuit trousers that say foul.
Indeed. I think I even have his cap somewhere down here. A tiny miniature fawn cap to go with it. Yours for 50 cents.
He doesn't elaborate on what that means. It's unlikely that he will. The lieutenant studies the figurine with amusement. Cool rider, right? I knew we'd find something worthwhile here. But
did I mention that this figurine is supposed to be lucky? Always carry it with you.
Big men on big
Franconage
a long, long time ago. They're not all blue.
Which one?
This set of...
I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't... Maybe.
All the old boombox. A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with it. Of course. It's in working order still, isn't it? Just pick your tape and set it spinning. It all starts with the tape. Sure, let me have a look. I'm not purchasing any more clothing. Anything else you're thinking of selling? Another time, perhaps. Sure thing. Maybe. Shady-looking guys came in here yesterday, looking like they'd just taken off their Wild Pines overalls. They asked if I have a police weapon to sell. I told them I already sold it. They went their way. It was a trip, but you know, all sorts of people come here, asking for all sorts of things.
Maybe Claire really is tracking down your gun.
People as oleaginous as Everard seem like they're lying, even when they're really being truthful.
Sure, man. The Coldima Madakwa. What an interesting... Once knew this was before. I'm not sure.
Do we really have time for this?
Keep in mind.
As not good, there's a growing sense
My god, I forgot about this.
Seabirds mostly.
Gala.
That's a low range.
You know, now that I've listened to it.
Get me out. I'm gonna die. Alright, I don't think I can buy anything here. Let's check the bookstore now. Also the figurine for the old guy. Not the figurine, the... What are these people? The photo. Maybe I can try to get his sandwich again.
It is such a pleasure.
Not yet.
Vigilance officer, what can this old carabinier do for you? Yes, the Debardeurs Union pays me to stand vigil during the nights. Not out of any political allegiance, mind you. I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and money is tight.
He feels like he has to justify himself for some reason.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday. It's a private matter. Nothing to do with your investigation.
You see, officer, René is the kind of man would rather die than admit he needs medical assistance or, God forbid, sick it. A real man's man is just gonna ride it out.
I'm fine, goddammit. Mind your own business. It's nothing. Just got to cut back on coffee. No one. The boss has been unmanned since last Monday. There's no other guard. It's just me.
No one has been guarding the container yard since last Monday.
Yes. It's not actually an issue. I mean...
Look, officers. The container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before René. Monsieur Claire had that booth built specially for him. It's mostly decorative.
The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabiniers' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated Kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
Look, officer, can we conclude the topic of my guard boost now? She is nobody. This is none of your concern, and I refuse to discuss my private affairs with the RCM.
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
Yes. Like I said, I would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out. It keeps my senses sharp.
Shouldn't I give him the photo back, man? Good composure. This composure shit is one of the hardest tricks. I don't think I can do it, but I'll try. Wait, why are these glasses here? Oh, I might have a chance. The +2.
Here then. Magnesium. That's what you're lacking. The lack of magnesium has you slouched. Yes, and it's critical. Look at yourself. You're practically devolving into a fish due to the lack of magnesium in your bloodstream. You need to get so magged up. You've probably had 2 heart attacks and a minor stroke already. And the only prescription is insane amounts of magnesium. Yes, if you want to live, you need to evolve. You need to transcend the carbon barrier. Go to the apothecary and buy insane amounts of magnesium. It will reverse the damage to your circulatory system.
Vigilance officer? What can this all...
Still.
Anything else I can...
Alright, now I will check the bookstore. I mean, now I'm just shopping, pretty much. That's my plan right now.
Hello again, sir.
Alright, let's check all these fucking books.
The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks.
Maybe I'm the last.
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all.
That's a lot of expensive shit.
Hello again, esteemed officer. Oh, yes.
The woman before you scanned. She's smart.
Okay, but please.
The woman.
Just checking if there's something new. Is there anything cheap?
Shelves filled to the brim with crime novels.
Ready for that.
Shelves full of biographies of famous people.
I'll take that.
Cultural touchstone. In
Browsing suddenly, I speak next.
I'm sorry.
That's one.
Several maps. The maps look old. This large map, ozone disintegrating in the north, radiating outwards from Yucatan. Lost 850. The ocean connection 850 million. The north to the east. Hoodoo. It's so no.
They're quite valuable, though they might not look it. The map of Martinez. Yes. Are you interested or not? I'm sorry, they're quite that up from Wednesday.
The place.
They didn't get that.
Okay, can't buy these.
This bookstore is not strict.
Indeed. Something about that book does seem to have spoken to you. Well, I hope it contains what you're looking for.
Got 58 left.
Shelves filled to
Can't buy here. So the only ones left are these, huh? Let's start with the board games. I'll buy them.
Wonderful choice, if you say so. But you better stay away.
Alright, let's check our new shit.
The Greatest Innocence by João Paulo Salamat, browsing through your educational survey is done. Did you catch any of that? No, that's the spirit. Oh yeah, this is what I was made for.
Nice. Question 1. Oh, it's a fucking questionnaire. Let's go. Who was the first innocence? Dolores Rey?
Incorrect. Dolores Day was the innocence of humanism. International. Her colors are silver. Stay clear of this one. There's something terrible about this one. A strange sensation of loss. When she guessed, the quiz is impersonal. No need to rouse sensations. A pop quiz is a short examination.
Okay, I know what a pop is.
Dolores.
I tried, man. Alright, Sola.
Incorrect. Solo resigned.
Turkey?
Nothing much is known about him. It's not as the first. Question 2. Who was the strongest in easy? Everybody knows the answer to this. You, me, anybody.
Alright, Dolores.
Incorrect again. Even though the word, please, relax.
This is the only one I remember.
Correct. Named the innocence of militarism. Franco Negro. Question 3. Who got him under control? No problem. Solid on this one. It's widespread, yes. There exists a group called the Founding Party. There seems to be a mix-up. At least it clearly wasn't Dolores Day. She wouldn't be.
Yeah, Dolores.
She's beautiful.
Kedra?
Correct. Kedra, correct. There have been.
On it was Erno Pastrňák, čede.
Some assumed to have the most final stretch. I've got it. Honest.
Question 4. Who was the greatest innocence? Dolores Rey.
Of course, zero doubt. Correct. The mess might see everything from congratulations on finishing the test. The result, the D, not particularly remarkable, but technically, you would have done better if you just left the last day for the end.
What's going on with you?
The book is so unfair.
Okay. You are shouting at an inanimate object, like a real weirdo. No,
Okay, let's do it again.
Educational survey is done. It seems rather, oh yeah, this is what I was made for. Correct. As the first question 2.
I wonder what happens if I get an A.
Everybody knows the answer to the correct. Franco Negro. Question 3. Got it under control. Correct. The most final stretch. I've got it. Honest. Correct. Everything from congratulations on fin and A. All correct. Impressive. Oddly so. You really navigated some treacherous waters here. Well done.
Oh, fuck.
The lieutenant is doing his best to ignore your behavior. Yeah, sure. It's so much easier once you know the answers, right?
Alright, that was fucking worth buying. What's this one?
Medicinal purposes of the Pale. The cover of this heavy tome features a number of esoteric symbols. Flipping through the book, you find a number of sections on the general benefits of the Pale. A large pharmacopoeia makes up nearly half of the book. You come across the following explanation. While modern pharmacopoeia are continually updated by so-called experts, it's all quackery in finally, something to calm the angry spirits that have been plaguing you. It seems to contain descriptions of the medicinal properties. There are a number of CO-like tonics that promise to improve your short-term memory. But there's nothing in here that speaks to hangovers directly. First, you need to choose a base ingredient. Next, you'll need to combine the base ingredient with an appropriate vehicle. Lastly, is there anything else you'd like to add? The ginger root will help with the nausea, and the birch bark tea will help you flush out the toxin. The very thought of this tea causes your
Holy shit, I actually made it.
And your mind to clear. You're more present and in control than you were a moment ago. A tingle rushes down your spine, and you feel your toes very well. Next, you'll need to combine the base. Lastly, is there anything else The ginger root will help with the nausea, and the birch bark tea will help you flush out the top. You imagine yourself with a mug of this tea in a chair. Medicinal purposes of the flipping through the book. Have you taken any walks? And on your walks, do you good? And when you meditate, are you excellent? You're doing a note of caution. Flipping through. Have you taken any? And on your walk, you need to do that. It's important. There is regular meditation in the power. Good. And when you nudity, you probably can't even take off your pants, can you? That feeling is the weight of society. In your hands, you hold a brand new copy of the game, Suzerainty. The cover features a charming illustration depicting a mass of grinning laborers loading goods onto a ship, while a richly dressed administrator oversees their work. The exact location and time period are left deliberately vague, but it's clearly meant to represent the economic relationship between the Revacholian suzerainty and its many vassals. The plastic wrap rips off as easily as a bodice in a tawdry historical romance. There's a hiss as the lid slides off. Inside, you find a thick, full-color rulebook and more than a dozen pouches of various wooden components. Savor that new board game. Welcome to Suzerainty. The colorful you begin to you soon figure out that's what each turn as you leaf through the pages. Remember, the actual scoring you open up a number each card.
What? You're not.
In addition, from the Empire.
Oh my god, I spent 5 hours doing this.
The lieutenant.
Holy shit. The average playing time for this game is 1 to 6 hours. I'm not sure we can afford to set aside that kind of time for a game.
Suggestion. I think I have some suggestion shit. I have -1 on me right now. There is 1. What's the one we have on? Fuck, can't do it now. White satin shirt. Oh, whoops.
The suzerainty box is heavy and slightly watched. The lieutenant gives you a sour look. He may or may not. What is detective work if not an elaborate game? You need.
I do feel like my thinking has become somewhat rigid. Maybe a little diversion to keep the mind limber is just what's in order.
See? He's doing the hard work himself. All he needed was a little nudge.
Alright. You've convinced me. How do we play?
You explain the base in the center. Apricots from... There's also a neat... The lieutenant...
Alright, detective.
You have a few options available to you. Will you try to fulfill contracts? Remember what the rulebook said. You'll want to choose a strategy early on and stay committed to it. You draw a contract card offering a number of coins in you place all your workers on the Ilmara.
Not bad, detective.
But not good enough. As he completes his own
Oh my god,
the
man.
lieutenant is rewarded with 4 coins and a round wooden token.
Oh my god, he's OP.
It's worth 2 victory points. Don't worry, it was mostly just luck. You'll earn some points soon enough.
The lieutenant, glancing over the board, those aren't your only options. You could also show your workers how much you appreciate them by investing some of that wealth. Well, sure, you can do that. It's just not a terribly effective strategy, but then it's up to you. Using your powers of persuasion, after several turns, your worker tokens greatly outnumber the lieutenants. A vast army of expendable labor is at your command.
Too bad investing in your workers. Just take a look at the scoring tables in the back. You see in Table 8C that investing in territorial infrastructure multiplies your final victory point total by 1, which is to say not at all. Whereas erecting monuments in Revachol gives you a multiplier. Yes, precisely.
Now it's the lieutenant's turn to respond. He moved for several turns. You draw a new contract card. According to the text, there's an arrow. You know, this isn't unlike the situation the historical Revacholians. Well, by introducing cocaine into Safre under exclusive contract, the suzerain, if you could somehow get, yes, you can. You've reached a critical strategic juncture. How do you respond to the lieutenant's aggression? With each passing turn, you slowly bleed the lieutenant of coins as his own workers become less productive and more dependent on your magenta cocaine token. As a matter of historical fact, this is almost exactly what happened in Saf.
More or less.
Realizing victory is slipping away, the lieutenant launches a desperate gambit. Protectionism. By erecting tariffs on your cocaine, he hoped the end game is upon you. Do you escalate the trade war with the lieutenant, or do you ignore his aggression and focus on building the mighty victory? Alternatively, you could throw the whole game away by trying to build a public education system. The choice is yours.
How do we defeat you, Kim? I mean, I don't think the schools for children will beat him. Trade war or victory column? I'll go for the victory column.
Building the ultimate structure requires diligent economic planning, which you completely failed to do. Rather than build a glorious monument to Revachol's economic superiority.
A risky gambit, detective. Sorry it didn't pay off. Don't be a sore loser, detective. Now, let's tally up the
Computing the final scores is almost a game unto itself. You each spend, and after double, then triple checking 15 victory points. The suzerain...
I've got 26 points. Don't be glum, detective. There's always next time. Now, let's clean up and get...
You hold the...
No, we're playing again! Adost. No, I wanna play again! I need to beat him.
You open up a number of pouches. In addition, from the
so
each card. In addition to the from the
maybe we can play him tomorrow.
The welcome, the colorful begins the use. There is no that's each as you leaf through the actual score.
God damn it!
Large letters on the front form text underneath the title in smaller typeface. Mysterious, none of that is the Wirral, a blurb. Succumb to a world of high exact. In no, don't forget heated arguments. And most important, you pry open a ring. It doesn't seem equipped. The options are the welkin. The welkin come with a great whale.
Oh my god.
A very small race of the least popular.
I spent my entire day reading books.
It's made you don't know much about dice. But this one looks pretty damn fancy. You see?
Interesting. A communal. The figurine is not part of the real game setting. I guess so.
You place the die. You pick the figurine. A colorful box.
Holy shit. Oh, that could be useful.
The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular, sword-wielding barbarian on the cover. Nearly all the titles contain the word heal.
Oh yes, sir, it is.
Let's just get everything while we're here. Oh my god. 3 skill points. I gotta talk to these. First I wanna check the shop. Can I do this again?
Looking for something odd?
So first let's do this. This might be my last time doing this.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs. They all bear the Saint Baptiste
We don't need it
Pharmaceutics
just
logo.
yet.
A colourful...
Again, I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health.
That is so much fucking more expensive.
Is this about the questions? I don't really know.
I love this clerk. This.
You see several the packages are small, discreet, sloppily stacked, making them easier to take unnoticed. No need to worry about knocking over a display.
What is what? If you want to buy one, then it's only 4 real.
Her attention is drawn to the raincoats. Stealing one undetected.
Here you go.
To the left of some croissants.
Let's do the items first. Find an idiot, do spiral jacket, wash the dirty jacket. I wonder how. Who are you, fellas? You are.
That's one brutal motor carriage.
Never mind, I don't.
If I were a real skull now, I'd jack it, paint it in palm tree livery, then bottom light it, neon style.
A snazzy shit-ripped skullmobile like this would make a fine trophy. We could, like, hang fucking shrunken heads from the side mirrors. Cops' heads. Scary tribal shit.
Yeah, tribal shit. A cop carriage like this would have proper skull value.
While I appreciate the interest you take in my brutal motor carriage, I have to stop you right there. The RCM takes threats directed at its property seriously.
It's just theoretical work, Copper. No basis in reality. Man, if we were certified skulls right now...
Skulls. Now there's a strong organizational title.
I can tell you who we're not. Cop. We're not snitches. Or skulls.
Which is not to say that the skulls are bitches and... On the contrary.
The part of this presentation you want to take home with you, Cop Man, is... we're not part of the skulls. Yet.
Okay then, let's indulge in some intellectual exchange. These young men seem eager to share their beliefs.
You don't know? What kind of cop are you?
It's not a question. Don't get into it.
The Skulls are the most vicious gang of the Besmertne.
Besmertine, or the Besmerti, the Immortals, are West River Sholian crime syndicate.
The nastiest bunch of psychos ever.
Possessing an infinite amount of fuck-all swagger, infamous for their non-verbal modus operandi.
If a skull spots you, he will pull out his dagger and stab you without saying a word.
The lieutenant's voice is as calm as usual, a testament to the violence and death he's witnessed through the sight of his firearm.
They usually occupy the burnt-out quarter in Jamrock, or you can find them loitering around their brightly painted bottom-lighted vehicles.
I can't wait to become a skull.
Filler to get the face.
Aggressive. Murder? Yeah, sure. We'll gladly tell you everything we know about it. It was a man.
Also, he was hanged. He was hanged from a tree.
Yeah,
These punks don't know anything. Let's just move along.
Hey! Stop right there! How does one know anything?
Ah, this sounds like epistemology, a field so occupied by thought that it begins to question thought itself.
Exactly. How can one know shit?
We should move along.
Knowing. We think that we know, but where does the thought originate from?
It seems that we can only think, but never know.
Precisely.
Oh yeah, Cindy's a right proper skull.
Yeah, a true artist of the future. Just like Arno van Eyck.
By the way, if you see Cindy, give her our regards.
For all their nihilistic posturing, these young men are not lacking in youthful idealism. The lieutenant on your left is unusually lenient toward them.
Oh man, yeah. We're not fucking kids, man.
Be wary of the abyss.
Probably because of how non-verbal their mode of operation is going to be. It's a threat. But I don't. In fact, I dislike them so much I'm willing to drag you boys back to the station just to calm myself down.
Hey, there's no need for that. We're just talking here. Joking too. Stay light, man.
Yeah. Didn't you cops, like, have some questions about skulls or some shit?
The Union does their share of policing in Martinez, at least where gangs are concerned. That's why there isn't much organized crime around here.
Apart from the unions themselves, of course.
Don't you worry about that. We're gonna make up for the deficit.
Yeah, we are. We're not franchise skulls. Well, not yet. Once we get our name out there, we'll have a chance to join them. Because we can be just as psycho and vicious. You'll see.
But in a non-threatening and definitely legal way.
We'll fuck the system from the inside later. Just be cool now. The damage will be tenfold.
Right on, fuck. So what's happening now? Mm-hmm. What about them? Well, first off, it's a statement and not necessarily something that characterizes me as a person, even though the statement has character. And I do like piss. The word piss epitomizes the struggle taking place in the world. Things being defined as they seem, not as they are. And, I guess, it's also about communal spirit, the future, and truly appreciating our differences. Also, you've got to admit, it catches the eye. And since the Grand Piper is slowly but steadily moving towards basing the economy on it, attention, it is imperative that the medium itself convey the message. What I mean by this is, we are all pissed, and that the world is inherently meaningless.
It seems that the young man has a certain expertise in at least one field, even if it's rather narrow.
Like I said before, many men keep searching for the one, for so-called true love, which is actually just obsession masquerading as kinship. The thrill of the chase, the hollowness that fills your chest cavity after catching it.
I'm wondering if the poetics come with the jacket, or are they derived from something else entirely?
To catch a fish, you'll need to hurl the lure many times, and even then it isn't certain that you'll get anything. If you blow up the lake, though, you get more fish in a shorter time. And, for time is of the essence and fleeting ever so quickly, one must think of a way to fuck the whole world and not get caught up in fucking someone. Because when one fucks everything, he fucks nothing. And that, to me, feels glorious. Sticking your dick into the void.
Hate to admit it, but in a weird way, he's got a point. Is it a coincidence that here we have two badass jackets and two badass cops?
Yes? What is? What are you implying? I'm not sure I understand you, Detective. Neither. Fine, if only to end this discussion. Theoretically, if I were a juvenile delinquent, if I were to already be down that path, I think peace is the stronger of the two statements. Seems about right. especially considering your heroic exit attempts.
That's an origin story for a dynamic duo, right?
So are we done here? Or you don't need us around for your secret whisper party, do you? That ride is fucking.
Hey, piss. Look.
These guys aren't.
Why?
If you don't have to answer, then we don't have to give you our jackets. Doesn't sound like you have a reason.
Yeah, like he said, total shit. What about it?
You didn't say that. The lieutenant looks down at his bomber jacket and shrugs, obviously content with his uniform.
Fine. Fuck it. Here. Take it then. I can't handle this sad shit.
It's true. He simply can't. It's called empathy. Wow, I did not see that coming. You better wear that jacket with pride.
Fuck that. You're not getting mine. My dad's a lawyer in La Delta. He'll have your badge.
No, he won't.
The lieutenant is lightly amused by the situation.
No. He's like a volunteer lawyer. A total bitch. Cites law and does dishes. You know what, cop? Fuck you. That's not what this is about. You're not getting my jacket.
Fuck him. We don't need his rich dad jacket anyway.
I'm not wearing that jacket. I don't think this case requires us to go undercover or raise hell. In fact, I don't think the jacket will be useful at all. The need will not arise.
Look at this cute shit. How can we become skulls if you go around fraternizing with cops? Let's get the fuck out of here before anyone sees us.
Fuck. I'm sorry, man. I just don't like confrontations, that's all.
Alright, I think I'll go through the books and call it for today.
The cover of this
I'm not gonna read this shit, man.
Writes the harsh, snow-capped. The back below, a brazen attempt to bilk their main concern. The story by nightfall. 9. It is, and with deadly a future. This book makes the Northmen find themselves in the court of a powerful southern king, Lord Hrothgar. The old king beseeches the man from here. The man from Heimdall extracts a high price from. What do you mean? Because the flame of justice burns bright within his chest. Because, above all, what do you mean? He doesn't even have a real name. What is inside this? He is. What are you? A book crit. Enough. What? You skip in this as swiftly. The visit in an instant. Oh, for fuck's. When the din of battles. What? In the first, an excellent. Consider the man from Heimdall stares at you on the back below. A brazen people. What better place there is? You know the story, but you know the. The edges of the pages are the jacket. He is ambushed. You open his arms. Good God. You flip to the copyright. Berserker Ray. Man from the steel. A passage. Thines. I have. This is beyond. To find out what happens next. He is ambushed. You open his arm. Good. You flip to the copyright page. Berserk. Man from Heimdall. Right. The steel muscles of a passage. Thines. I have grabbed. This is beyond. What do you even know about literature? Have you ever? This is not just another. You open his arm. Good. You flip to the copyright page. This man, the steel, a passage. Thines. I have. This is beyond primitive. What do you even know about literature? Write a thesis. You open thine spell. I have. This in the to find out what you flip to the copyright. A passage. Thine. I have. This is beyond. What do you even? Man from here.
Oh my god, I just went to fucking 1 AM.
Wow, you work hard. Oh, yes. You hustle. You're a provider. It's tough out there, but you keep it real and provide. Oh, yeah. Like a horse. A work.
Wait, didn't I have this conversation before?
Look at yourself. You're a human. That is the sign of a hustler who never gives up. That's just. It ain't easy, but you do it. Day in and day out. Yeah. You did. Wasn't
yeah, I did all this.
Sure.
I remember that.
Rich? Get out of here. You're a reporter. You work. That's on Texas, almost non-existent in the Gotham estate. That is reversion. Every time, 98% of all your money.
Is it because I didn't take this?
What are you not sure about? They're milking your nipples.
But only a little.
It's all about the tax issue, hustler.
Alright, let's see what this is. Indirect modes of taxation. Fuck that. Alright, I think we will call it here for today. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
On the table, you see a bolo.
Tomorrow we'll finally start solving shit.
You see
oh, we could try this. I have a lot of electrochemistry shit on me, I think. One. There's two. There's three. There's four. That's it. Let's see if we can make this check. Only 8%?
Still.
Jesus. And now I have to remember what I fucking had. Fuck me. No.
The bed is comforting. The bed underneath you is soft, if lumpy.
Is there gonna be a dream?
Like a deftly cast fishing net. Sleep.
How of
this bastard?
Because you know you are a murderer. A disco music listening psycho killer who offs poor people. And then forgets about.
Hear that? You are naive to think he's afraid of his bloodied hands. So it's much, much worse.
Don't tell him, sister. It's too bad.
They're right. This is their function. To keep you from it.
We're trying to help you. All these processes, these...
The last dream will be total annihilation. Cinders peeling off the fuselage. We won't be there to help you anymore.
Of hell. An ancient sadness, brother.
Everything is so okay. Your eyelids flutter open for a moment. When you close them again.
The last thought in your head before waking is, maybe you shouldn't have seen that stained glass window in the church.
Interesting. I wonder if there's like a total limit to days. Oh, he's sitting down. Why do I wear this hat? Yeah, I wanna check Elysium days limit. Wait, if something happens throughout day 5, which is now? Doesn't look like it. Kim's here.
Yes?
Let me try the game again. Can I beat him this time? I know how to beat him. My strategy was perfect until the last thing.
The suzerainty bottle.
Fuck.